Yeah, we find her, the beautiful girl we've been missing. We wanna have her kissing. We find her, now we in love. Say go so, the remix.
DMB, Tuck Spice, remix.
Now if I had to lose you like a bad phone connection, I'd change my game to get a better reception. Sit back, let's start this interaction. Don't fight the feelings, just a chain reaction. Your heart won't give you the wrong instructions. Like my GPS, yes I got the right direction. We gotta merge together like a road intersection. Last stop is gonna be my love and affection. I ain't like the other dudes, they wanna call you shorty, but I'ma call you a beautiful girl. I took your picture home, my mama saw it, she's a very, very beautiful girl. I wanna put you in my video, cause you're so beautiful. You're a beautiful girl. So when you hear us in your radio, turn up your stereo. It's beautiful girl.
Gotta find a shorty, what's worth of a lady. It's nice but maybe doesn't look like 40. It's taking a little time. I wasn't seeing no signs, any traces of my baby. Who's gonna be my baby? But I thought I'm gonna take my time. Within it took a long fine eye. I saw a shorty passing by. She's got this very pretty smile. It was right at the bus station. I tried to make a conversation, holding her arms, feeling so charmed. I felt this sensation. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Now I realize I found me a beautiful girl. She's a model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it by. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes are killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl.
My wish came true when I saw you, girl. God must have blessed me with your beauty, girl. Looking so right from your head to your toe. Shaped like a coke bottle with a smile of a queen. My queen to be, you my destiny. Got a body of a goddess with your beauty. I'm impressed and I'm never in distress. Come on over and be mine. Been searching for a man and now all the cats keep looking to mine. With a sexy walk and a sexy talk, she must be from a planet called the sexy world. I know I ain't tripping, better yet I'm thinking put a ring on the finger, we look good together. Take your place in my heart with your beauty. I'ma say that I'll never turn away. Who would think I'm in love?
So the way she smiles at me just really makes me weak. The way she speaks to me just really make me go so weak. Keep staring in her eyebrows. All I kept on saying is wow. Your beauty shines and breeze at night. All I really want in my life. Oh yeah. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes, killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl. Yeah, beautiful girl. One beautiful girl, yeah. Beautiful girl.
Damn. Money. You seen her? Hot Ice. Have you seen her? LP. Have you seen her? I'ma go over to Tux Bites. I know you've probably seen her. He has a lot of beautiful girls with him. Tux, it's DMB, baby. Look.
Beautiful.
I look for a while, but I can't seem to find a beautiful girl so I can make her mine. Time after time, I've been searching for a while, but every girl I meet never seems worthwhile. What can I do? I pray to God for an answer. I feel pains in my heart like cancer, and when I find her, I'm gonna romance her. Lace several presents and gifts. Call me Santa Claus. I make a heartbeat pause. That's my girl, homeboy, not yours. The girl of my dreams, she's more than I ever thought. Show me Aston Kutcher, I think I'm getting punked. She's what I really want, so I'm a go-getter. Since I'm a go-getter, you know I'm gon' get her. And I will give her the world, anything for my beautiful girl. Psych. Ooh,
It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine, brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it beautiful girl. Sparkling night, killing time. I found a beautiful girl.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we're done enough.
What is going on? How's everybody doing? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, let me know in the chat. Let me know. Just let me know you can hear me in the chat. And then we can get started. Can everybody hear me? Loud, clear? Yes? No? Yes? Everybody can hear me? Can everybody hear me? Let me just see here. If you can hear me, let me know in the chat. Let's see. Tell me, can you hear me? I'm looking at the chat right now. I just want to make sure that the audio is good. Let's see. I'm waiting. Yes. Thank you. Ying with Melanie. I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate you. Yes. All right. Welcome back. All right. What a show we just finished over there at Auntie B's platform. Shout out to Auntie B. I appreciate you always, Auntie B. Obodo Yibo TV. Thank you so much. That was a good session. It was worth it. Yep, it was worth it. I'm glad we did that, because it gives us a very good this is more like a continuity. So if you missed that, I'm sorry. But you know what? I'm actually going to go back to the beginning of what started this conversation. Okay. And yes, we will be reacting today. So sit back and relax. Did you pick that part up? Sit back and relax, because this conversation long take or more. Listen. But I'm glad that we're talking about it, because again, these are the opportunities where we really, really learn some of the concepts that might have been confusing about life. We're always looking for answers. That's just who we are as human beings. That's what makes us higher animals. We're all looking for answers. But there's a point you get to that you need to be okay with operating with limited information, and that's where wisdom comes in, all that kind of nice stuff. But welcome back. I want to say thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you, because we'll be having this conversation. Today is a reaction video. I'll be reacting to the man himself, Daddy Freeze, Coconut Head Daddy Freeze. We'll be reacting to him today. And I'm a little jokey with all due respect. I don't know him personally, so I can have an opinion that he's a coconut head, right? But I want to make sure that he's able, not just him in particular, but anybody who kind of who tends to agree with some of this rhetoric. I want to make sure that they have a chance to listen, and I can destroy that chance if I'm just attacking. So that's not my intention at all. I want us to have a conversation. I'm open to conversation. If anybody wants to invite me to a platform, I'm open, but I can't jump on people's panel and be able to have the level of insight I want to add into this. These are my personal opinions. These things are easier said than done. These are strictly opinions. Everything I say here is allegedly, okay? But some insight, something you can add onto your own arsenal of knowledge, that maybe just rubbing minds together. So today, if I drop link at all, it will be a bit later. But I want us to actually see what we're talking about, right? If you JAPA, you run away, you are poor. That's how he started. Now he's moved the goalpost a few times since then, but it's okay. Okay, we're human beings. Nobody's accurate, anything like that. But this one, that the freeze go collect, at least intellectually. Okay, and I want to tell you a quick story. It's not that much of a story. I just want to make sure that we had proper context and background to this. Okay, D, I see you. You finally told us. I like Little Black Book 91, by the way. I like his platform. I see that he has some well-balanced conversations over there. So I'll be checking that out. If you can send me the actual link, so I don't have to scramble around to which one of the episodes where my brother Ekene was being dragged, sadly. But I think Chinye already picked that up as well. Shout out to you, D. I appreciate you. Gracious Greatness is here, of course. My guy, Ekaleo Gbogbo Eniyan to wa lórí YouTube, StreamYard àti gbogbo technology. Sheyi said, aha, una comot me for Obodo Oyinbo. No. Sheyi, these are part of the issues. That's how she does it. She look for a very sweet spot where you land, and then she ejects so she can continue. She always did that. It's not just about you. As you can see, it's a very heated conversation. If she doesn't, that's part of the moderation, the way she moderates. So it wasn't just about you. But you made some points, but you were out of context a little bit there, but opportunities will present itself. Maybe we can have a little bit more conversation around that later on. He says my views were more like food for thought. No fighting, never fighting. Now you know that now. Please, let's be liking the video. Thank you, I appreciate that. We're missing about 30 likes. 30. Please go ahead and like the button, and the dollar signs are good for donations. I take donations. Okay, I might not be as aggressive as Daddy Freeze, but I will actually like double of what he's getting. Does that make sense? Okay, thank you, I appreciate that. And it's because I'm poor. Listen, whatever you choose to, whatever interpretation you want to add to that.
Well, you're right.
Yeah, but I want to kind of jump into this. Let's see, Chinyi, how far are you there? The Ying with Melanin, welcome. Let's see, who else is there? Abajulu, how you there? Thank you. Dr. Sharif is here. Shout out to you. Welcome. Maxwell is here. Good to see you. Thank you to shout out to all the brothers and sisters here today. Welcome. I just want to do a quick shout out before I continue. And let's see, on your coffee break is here. Shout out to you. Welcome, and thank you for the donation to Auntie B earlier. You started it. Thank you so much. I saw that. Let's see. What am I missing? Who else am I missing? Am I missing anybody? Temi's here. Temi, good to see you. Money Guns or Stars, which donation? Dollar. This is the moment where liquid. It's not that liquid. YouTube will take about 30% of it, but that's cool. Just whatever you got. No matter how little, is perfectly fine. Anything, any support, even like buttons. Just hit the like button. No, I don't do money guns yet. At least not yet. I'm gonna have to have 2 other devices to be able to run Instagram and TikTok here. I actually have plans for that if it's not too much management. But let's focus on one platform for now, okay? But Chidima is here. Good to see you, Chidima. Welcome. And everybody else that's listening in the background, I appreciate you. Omotola, thank you so much. I appreciate you. All right, so this issue, okay? I like us to put things in context, okay? This is actually, my guy has come to the screen. Yeah, let me tell you a quick short story here before we continue. Daddy Freeze is a certain type of personality from the little I can see, okay? I don't know him personally. I've met him once, okay? And for me, I always have to mention the experience I've had with people, especially if it's positive. If it's negative, I might shy away from it because I don't benefit from dwelling on anybody's negative experience. I just leave them to have that. That they were probably just opening another door for me. But actually, my experience with him was positive. And it was Lola and I, my wife and I, And our first show ever, just in case you don't know, that YouTube channel doesn't exist anymore. It was called Gospel According to Talks B. And we used to just chat, just, banter, the gist spouse thing. We've always done that. And instead of just gisting to ourselves in the house, we're like, why don't we turn on the camera and just gist, right? About celebrity news and stuff like that. And that's what we were doing. And then we were also affiliated with a platform called Under the Rock, with my guy Cause, and another radio platform online when online radios were new. This was 2009. And there was NEA awards that they used to do to celebrate Nigerian superstars before there was Afrobeats, okay? And there were a few people that came on that trip, some comedians, and Daddy Freeze came with that trip, hanging out with some of the comedians. And some of the greatest comedians you have today were part of that crew. It was AY Comedy. It seems like he used to be close to AY Comedy as well. I think, what's his name? Julius Agu as well. A couple of Samuel Okposo, the late great singer Samuel Okposo. Shout out and rest in peace to Samuel Okposo. Right, this was how I met these guys back then. Okay, and what did he do? Like, listen, these superstars, they don't have to answer anybody. He wasn't exactly a superstar, but he was well known as a radio guy. I said, hey, do you mind giving us a drop? And what did he do? He said, hey, shout out to Nollywood, was NollywoodExpress.com. Shout out to Nollywood, and he gave us a drop. And I can't forget. That was a good part, because he didn't have to, and it was very nice about it. Okay, and we used that drop for a long time, and I was looking for it, but I can't find it because I mistakenly deleted that channel, because around the time that my wife and I had personal crisis, life crisis, it was a lot going on, and we lost that channel. Okay, so, and I don't have any clip of that anywhere. So there's no way he will remember me, because there's probably a couple of people on that red carpet that were taking, so, but that's my experience, and I wanted to make sure I give that to him. That's probably what affects or influences the way I handle when I react to his videos. And I don't think he's a dumb person. I think he's a very, very smart person, but there's a lot of smart people that don't have emotional intelligence or social intelligence, just a little bit, right? And that's not an insult. An average person struggles with emotional, social, and self-intelligence. Okay, that's just what it is. Okay, it's stuff that we have to remain a student of for life. Okay, it involves self-intelligence. It involves learning about yourself first, learning how to control your emotions. Then it involves you learning how to manage other people's emotions without thinking you're bowing to them, or I don't want them to feel like without thinking it means you're bowing to other people. It's basically understanding where they're coming from emotionally before you yarn anywhere, right? Before you start yarning dust, which is what most of us do, right? We get triggered, we just go all over the place. Let's give them to where no. It's a method. That's why I told somebody earlier on Antibe's platform, there is a method to my madness, okay? And then the third part of it is understanding society at an emotional level. This is the social intelligence part of things, okay? And you can see that in some of this rhetoric. So yes, my guy here, Dr. Freeze, Daddy Freeze, will be collecting woto intellectually, particularly social intelligence, emotional intelligence level, power intelligence level, okay? There's a way to move in society. At the very minimum, you need to be aware. You just need to be aware, right? Even if you choose to go the direction you're going, right? He might choose to be like, no, I just want to shake before everybody, because it creates a nice little division, polarized views, and the ones that really like me for toasting people up like that, roasting people, they give me money guns. If that's what works for him, shout out to him, and I agree with that as well, But some of you are going to follow this and say, oh, he's right, like, he's right. No, he's wrong.
You're right.
No, actually, you're right. Okay, but let's talk about it. Let's get into the nuances. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about today. We're just going to chill, relax back. He's going to talk, and then we'll respond. Let me play like the first few minutes of it. Let's see if he can get something gingering first, right? But and then we'll take it from there. But before we continue, D, thank you for the £5. My money gone for the night. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Gracious Greatness gave me 99. What do you call that? Pence? Is that pence right there? Yeah. You know what time it is, right? We have to dance a little bit before we continue. Let's do a little bit of let me calm down a little bit before we continue, shall we?
Everything I do, I will. Pressure to what?
All right, pressure to one scene. So let's get into it, okay?
So earlier on today, I was talking about women and men, and I kept reading a lot of data because you all know I'm a man of numbers. I was going through all sorts of statistics. Now, by the way, please, let me tell you, if you cross me, your papa, where he they do in labor and work for night, your papa where they do in
your daddy,
work,
your daddy,
collect stray bullet.
Your daddy,
your daddy. So don't look for my trouble. I know they look for person trouble. If you look for my trouble, your papa go
your
collect,
daddy,
because I know
your
say
daddy.
You know they water. Now that your papa where they play with himself, they do soapy. Now there your papa will collect this night. They no go break before he collect. So watch it.
Stop the cap.
So let's talk to. So I was reading many statistics. The highest divorce rate in the world. You can even Google yourself. The highest divorce rate.
All right, so they always start with these statistics things, right? You can't love statistics more than me. It's almost impossible. But I also don't lead my conversations with that, right? Unless there's some kind of money, I'm making a presentation. I think it's a smart way to start things if you're making a presentation, but they always love statistics too. And they often will quote a statistic that's actually real. Okay? That's actually a real statistics, right? But the issue is interpretations, right? So he's about to look all over the internet for statistics on Google for precisely statistics that will justify his bias, his existing bias. That's what he's trying to do right now. I'm going to put it up on speed so we can get through it quickly.
Rates in the world. Just go on and Google that. Just go to Google. Highest divorce rate in the world.
Highest divorce rate in the world is looking for right now.
The countries with the highest divorce rate in the world are Maldives, Guam, Russia, Moldova, Belarus, China, Aruba, Georgia, Ukraine, and Costa Rica. And if you read countries with the lowest,
let's go back a little bit,
Costa Rica.
and then I'll slow it down.
Russia, Moldova, Belarus, China, Aruba, Georgia, Ukraine, and Costa Rica, Belarus, Maldives, Guam, Russia, Moldova, Belarus, China, Aruba, Georgia, Ukraine, and Costa Rica.
Okay, we would have known. I personally would have thought the statistics is about to pull up. It will be United States now, and then we have to argue with that. I don't assume anything. Okay, it's actually interesting that they pulled that up. I thought it will pull out some kind of theory where the statistics is like the Western world to justify the BS. Okay, but it's been authentic so far. Let's continue.
And if you read countries with the lowest.
Let me pause from one of my day ones really quickly. Osmosis, what's going on, my guy? Good to see you, man. Where have you been, man? I haven't seen you in the streets, man. Are you all right? Good to see you, man. This is one of my day ones. Shout out to you, bro. He said it's weird these guys don't have the studies they look up already saved somewhere so they can provide the links instead of just saying Google it. You know, we've been having this conversation for how long? Same issues, right? But yeah, thank you for being here, bro. Hey, cool mama. Good to see you.
In the world. Oh, it's giving me highest.
It's giving you highest.
23 for highest.
He's scanning for something that will justify what he's trying to say. Okay.
The highest.
He probably was actually disappointed that Maldives was at the top of the. He probably was disappointed with that because that doesn't really help with the conversation that he's trying to have. This conversation about shaming people in the abroad started with shaming the idea of marriage possibility of marriage and family in the abroad. That's, remember, it started with, we was talking about women and men. We kind of got lost in the economy of things. They're all linked. It's okay. They're all linked together, right? But let's not forget that this conversation started with his platform has become, quote unquote, a fake safe place for men that have gone through issues. It's not a safe place, okay? Here's why it's not a safe space for you. It's just, in fact, this space is not your safe space. You need help. You need to talk to someone. Okay? To a large extent, I'm going to generalize. To a large extent, I'm speaking from my own lens, my own views, my own experience. Yeah, I'm an expert at this, so I might have a little bit more insights than you, but ultimately, you have to assume that I am also speaking from a little bit of my lens experience, okay? So a lot of men think Daddy Free's platform now is the safe space where we can just speak. No, you can't, okay? You can't do that. You will shoot yourself on the legs. They will basically make you feel like you're right, and it's not really about that, okay? You will run away from yourself because ultimately you will collect woto, because he would tap into your fears. It would tap into your emotions. It will connect with your nerves, and you'll be like, oh, I agree. I knew. But the truth is that it's all generalizations, right? But let's continue.
And the lowest divorce rate in the world.
The lowest, I'm going to guess, Nigeria. No. He's probably not going to say Nigeria. He probably resents his what?
Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka.
23 divorce rates.
Yeah.
Maldives has the highest. I want to see where the lowest is.
Let's fast this up a little bit. This is the points he's making. This is where the conversation started. I just want you to know.
We at the bottom. We have Vietnam,
lowest.
Peru, Malta, South Africa, Ireland.
He's looking for Nigeria. Wait, he's what for him? He's looking for Nigeria.
Qatar, Chile. Italy. New Zealand.
These are the lowest.
Let's see some of the countries. Romania.
Romania. Wait.
Nigeria now.
Oh, he's looking for Nigeria. Wait, first of all, he hit Romania. There's a reason why he's looking for Romania. One of his mentors is Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate still Leko that has no home training. Yes, I said it. Andrew Tate has no home training. Yes, I said that. Okay. There's no way. It's just not possible. He's a very smart guy and a very intelligent guy. A better public speaker than myself and Daddy Freeze all put together. Okay. He knows what is more intentional with this polarized views things than Daddy Freeze would ever be. Okay. I don't want to be polarized. I just want to speak to you as a person. In fact, as much as I can, I want to speak to your experience, but it's YouTube. So there's only so much I can speak to your particular experience. I have to generalize a little bit, okay? But Andrew Tate is Daddy Free's biggest mentor when it comes to these topics. Go figure, right? Go figure. Oh, maybe because Daddy Freeze was born in Romania. He has roots in Romania. Maybe there's a link there. But let me be nice. Maybe not, okay? All right? Andrew Tate did not get arrested for no reason. Don't get it twisted, okay? Where there's no smoke without fire, okay? I need you to get that clear at the back of your mind. Wherever it is that we don't know all the way, I know enough to know that this guy is collecting woto because he has the diarrhea of the mouth. Yeah, something similar too, right? You should pay attention to that, okay? Now, the issues is not that they said something wrong. That's not the issue, okay? It's the lack of the ability to be able to read a room. Okay, everyone against me but self. I'm perfect. The matrix is working. They're actively looking for me. First of all, welcome to the real world. Yes, the matrix is real and it's always looking for you, especially if you don't know where your point of leverage is. If you think your leverage is your mouth, yes, of course, the matrix is looking for you. What is new about that? There's nothing new about that, right? But they're making new to the people that are surprised. Yes, this world is vicious. No, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, this world has always been vicious. It's about who has the power. It's about survival of the fittest. Yeah, it's always been that way. particularly while you are collecting woto. Yes. In a world where there is actually opportunities where you don't have. See, back in the days when we have to use to go and hunt lions so we can eat, right? Maybe it's necessary to be extremely polarized because somebody is coming to take your village of women and children. But we don't live in that society, okay? And yes, the powers that be, they don't run their mouth like that. They just don't do that, okay? And yes, if you try to change after you have arrested and say maybe, because the first thing they did when he was arrested, the first thing they did a few months ago when they shut down all of his social media platform, they silenced him. The first thing he did was like, he started saying, maybe I could have spoken a little bit better and, my words could be chosen better. That was the first thing they started. I was like, bro, it's too late. They have too much against you. It's too much. Nobody is locking you up for 2-3 months without having a rock solid reason in the world of internet where they will be exposed if they do something stupid too. But maybe I'm wrong. We'll wait. I'm patient, okay? But that's Daddy Freeze, one of his biggest mentor. That's some of the people helping him skew his views on some of these conversations. Let's continue.
Somewhere in the middle, unless we don't have any statistics. But the highest countries, the countries with the highest, include United States of America at number 21. These are among countries.
He went to look for United States of America at number 21. Think about that for a second. Think about that. He went to look for number 21. United States at number 21. Pressure what? Pressure to wow.
Everything I do, I will. Pressure to what?
Pressure to wow. Yep. Good morning, Ada from Germany. Good to see you. Good to see you. Wait till MOP's Andrew Tate broke into. I don't know. I don't know him personally. I know that he go collect woto in these scenes though. He said talk about Matrix. Matrix is real. They exist. They will destroy him. Right? He doesn't know anything yet. Even the greatest of them, of all of them, is in the history of this mankind. They used to destroy them. You know what they use? Women. It's part of what they used to destroy them. About money. Yeah. And no one. They know how to talk. Hey, let me talk. That's how they get them. They use their mouth and they use their weaknesses. What is their weakness varies from people to people, right? If you have an obsession to be right, they're gonna get you, right? Because there's very little power in it. Okay? Yes, they. Who is they? I don't know. Matrix. This is a world that's quite very organized. Okay? There are nations, there are sovereign nations. If you disrupt our agenda, you collect. Are you mad? You collect now, right? So even at a personal level, is it broken? No, I know he doesn't have home training. I know that for a fact, just from what I can see, just my opinion. Okay, but his issues are actually bigger, much larger than that. When lawyers say you have the right to remain silent, when your lawyer advises you to shut up, even though they're convinced you are right, they still shut up. No, but I need to speak my truth and tell them how I really feel. Like, brotherly, shut up. It's like, this is what's wrong with this world. People can't speak. Remember Kiki's husband, Kiki's boyfriend said, this is what's wrong with this world. A man cannot have control in his house anymore. Wait till happen to Ram. Collect for straight 2 days. Straight 2 days. He got dragged everywhere and he's still wrong. And yes, it's insecure. Okay? Yes. Spell it out. Insecure. Okay? He has no business being with that girl. We can start with that. Okay? That girl should not be in a position to be exercising better emotional control than him. Could it work? What do you want me to tell you? It's not going to work. Okay? That's the reality. Is she wrong? Whatever you think, you're right. Is he right? Yes, I can't take away his right to be right because I don't know him personally. So is he broken? That is loaded. That's a loaded question. In what respect are you talking about? In terms of his social currency, yeah, that's broken. They're going to forget, just like they've forgotten R. Kelly right now. He's going to be forgotten soon. Potentially. I don't know. That's my prediction. Okay? Listen, I'm telling you. Pay attention. Pay attention. Okay? It's not about right and wrong. I agree some things are right, some things are wrong. Okay? I agree. Okay? But whenever I give you my opinion that something is wrong, there's also a moral compass I'm coming from. You don't need to take it as gospel truth, because you might not be subscribed to the same ideologies, right? But you have a lot of people, influencers, the greatest influencers, they are polarized. And you don't even know what moral compass they're operating from. But because they align with your fears, you just go. This must be about me. No, it is not about you. Yeah, you'll probably be able to connect because there are some nuances there we need to pay attention to. See, we're only how many minutes in? There's so much already. Okay. Anyway, I did listen. Disagree small. Please elaborate on whatever you disagree with, and I'll come back to it. Let's see. Some people with low emotional intelligence or unresolved trauma may use generalized statistics that superficially speak to their pain and frustration and relieve their cognitive dissonance. Exactly. Thank you so much, Duba Sahel. That's what I've been trying to say. That's it. That hit it right there. Hey Vivian, good to see you. Auntie B Day here. Shout out to Auntie B. I appreciate you. Who listen to and the type of message you resonate with shows your mindset. Absolutely. Who you listen to. Yes, absolutely. Chai, shout out to Chai. Shout out to billionaire Jumzi. I'm about to get back into it right now. Auntie B said, Obodo Oyibo TV recommended you today. Yes, she's always showing me. So that's my sister, man. Any day. And we have a lot of stuff we're cooking up, okay? So there's more collaborations we'll be doing together to have these conversations. Sorry, my phone rubbing my pocket. Let's see. All right, I'm going to try to get back into it. Auntie B, thank you so much for the super chats. Let me find it really quickly.
Nigeria don't report.
Let's forget all the Libya, Latvia, Lithuania, Costa Rica, USA, number 21.
He found USA at number 21.
Sweden, number 20. Denmark, number 22. Finland, number 24.
So what is he going to do next? Look for correlations between what he's trying to say, and because all these great countries, Sweden, Denmark, these are really, really good countries, are on top, right? And most average Nigerians would like to JAPA away to these platforms. I call them platforms, sovereign countries. Why? The greatest question ever. Auntie B kept asking that question. Brother Ernest kept asking that question. Why? No, never mind why. Never mind why. That's why your children are not being raised. In what respect? Children are not being raised. How? Can the criteria at Afimo, but yeah, children are being raised. We have more questions, Brother Daddy Freeze. That's all.
France, Hungary, Iceland, 38, Singapore 39, Switzerland 40. Yeah.
These are the top countries in the world in most respects. Go figure. Like, where is the correlation? What is... All right.
48. United Kingdom number 60. And the list goes as
United Kingdom didn't even make top 10. United States, well, it's 300 million of us here. About 50 different states, massive states. Each state is about the size, well, each of these biggest states are about the size of Nigeria as a whole. It's about 50 states, right? And so the number is, how do we interpret it when you pay attention to that? Well, they made number 21. They're not even in top 10. What is this conversation about? How do you correlate this together with raising children and divorce rate? And you're just poor. Anyway, let's continue.
At 114. So what am I trying to tell you is, the Western world is littered with marriages that cannot work.
Don't forget, this conversation started with marriage. Marriage. This is the real issue. No, see, you can try to run. You can't run from me. Now when I'm running a platform where I have the rights, let me give him his credit. Shout out to Daddy Freeze for the content to react to. You can't run, okay, because you probably lack enough patience to run with me, to compete with me, okay. You can't run, okay. If I jumped on your platform for multiple reasons, some of them legit, hey, listen, on a panelist, I probably won't be able to get all the points out, okay. And you probably would take all the wrong points and try to misconstrue and take me out of context. You still would take me out of context with this one, self. And that's okay. But we will have this conversation. You can't run. This issue was about marriage. The resentment against marriage and the way family works in the Western world. That's what this issue is about. But it's okay, because there's still this correlation between all of them. It's your mindset. It's the way you think about everything in life. Either we're thinking economy or we're thinking marriage. It's just your outlook on life. It's the way you see things, right? It's your lens of life. It's how you see these things, right? It's always somebody else, someone's fault. And it could be somebody else or someone's fault. We're not going to argue that the Whitey did not invade Africa and took all of our resources, right? But why? How? Can we get to that part of the conversation? Why? How? How do we take it back? Are you aware that it will never be given back to you? Before the Matrix come and catch me, let me say it in Yoruba. Yes, the Matrix won't catch me, because they also give us an illusion of power. They say you have freedom of speech. You can just run your mouth on the internet anyhow you like. Right? Just run your mouth. You got freedom of speech. Yes, sure, you do have freedom of speech. You don't have freedom of consequences. Especially you, gentlemen. You don't. You should know that. In fact, this whole thing we are complaining about is because you're collecting woto. Either we're talking about marriage, or we're talking about in business, or we're talking about, like, you're not accepted there, you're not accepted here. But somebody is being accepted at some point, at some level. They kind of manage to figure something out. No, forget that. That's just exceptions. Let's just strum a bond. They're out to get us. The Matrix is going to get you. Give me $50. That's what Andrete does. Give me $50 of your money, and please go and share this short video. Give me $50 a month. And guess what they do? They drop it. When I say, oh boy, slow down. I actually want to ask you $50. It will help our platform here. But I'm shy. I don't want to ask you $50 too much, so that you don't feel like I'm here to, pester you about money and all that kind of stuff. I'm shy, and I want you to understand that marriage is, individual to individual level. Because Allah is not choosing sides. What do? Like, that guy don't know what they talk from both sides of his mouth, Jare. It's basically you demonstrating lack of patience. It's no wonder why you're collecting woto, right? Anything that's worthwhile in life, let me drop this really quickly, okay, is going to take work. That is not a bad thing. It means you will actually have to earn it. It means you have the opportunity to take credit for it. It means you have an opportunity. There's always room at the top. You can rise to the top, right? While everybody else continue to complain and people like Daddy Freeze continue to grift and take advantage of them, right? You can say, there's something. No, but so you just want to shame? No, relax. I actually don't want to shame you, because I think you're right. I'm saying there's more. There's the how, there's why, right? There's something happened. Yes, you were a victim. But what is the how? What is the why? Have you identified all the variables, right? No. Just give me that stat right there. Why is United States at number 21? Number 21 of how many countries? Wait, what side of the number 21? Wait, United Kingdom, which tend to collect the most woto as number 2, is at number 60. Number 60 of what? I don't even know how many countries on this list. I don't know what the criteria is. No, but forget that. It aligns with what I experienced, so it must be the truth. That's what a lot of people, men and women, are doing on the internet when it comes to marriage. Remember, he's talking about marriage. The same mindset that creates success in business, in terms of where you live, in terms of success in general, in marriage and really, is the same concept, okay? if you have a tendency, right, to point fingers at everything else without self-reflecting, this is how it works out. Okay? You will have more than enough people that will sympathize, empathize with you, but you will basically perpetuate the issue. It will continue because you're not asking how, why. How do I get on the other side? You will be struggling. You will continue to struggle. It's just the way it works. There will be more than enough grifters like the Uncle Pearl, Just Pearl things, right? You will have enough people that are naturally entertaining. Let me tell you, polarized views are entertaining as hell. I enjoy it too. I enjoy basketballs, divided side, men against women. I enjoy it too. I'm just being honest with you. But when it comes to your personal issues, it's going to make things worse. That's all it's going to do, right? But what do we point out? Well, we point out when we understand your story, your personal story. At your own personal level, where are you interpreting your ideas from? Why is it that you're able to relate at a personal level so much with whatever these generalized views are? Let's continue.
Because the situation they created makes the man domesticated, docile, weak. If I may say. A weak man.
So what do you expect here? Let's not be having unrealistic expectations. If you say Western world makes the man docile, makes the man a weak man, right? There's only one type of man that can relate with this. Can anybody guess in the chat? I'll come to the chat really quickly. Okay. Baby, please let me educate one. All right. Let's come to the chat. Why would anybody relate with that statement? Oh, no, it's just that they are objective. No, they're not. Let me repeat what he just said. Okay. Who is the kind of person that will relate with this statement? This kind of people, they're not wrong. It's coming from a real place. People are hurting. People have issues. People are victims in real life. Okay. But who will relate with that statement?
They created.
Okay.
Because the
situation they created, who is they? The Western world. The Western world, right? We're talking about the Western world, right? The situation they created. Keep in mind that Dr. Daddy Freeze himself does not live in the Western world. He's been here, he was raised here. He's a little bit more inclined to the world of the Western world because of how he was raised, probably. He still don't know shit about the Western world, though. It's not good enough that you travel, okay? And you spend 2 weeks and you go back. It's just not good enough. You don't know what you don't know. You don't have enough context, okay?
They created.
The situation they created
makes the man domesticated, docile, weak.
Make the man domesticated. I beg, let me ask you, my bros. Is that a compliment? Docile, is that a compliment? Weak, is that a compliment? No, it is not. What kind of normal person will be able to relate with something that is not a compliment? Let's do the math properly. Let's math here properly, okay? Okay. For us to grow our platform as content creators, okay? And just in case you don't know, at a professional level, I am a marketer. I am also a salesperson. I write sales copy for a living as well. Okay. Just in case you don't know, I have a whole book on it, digital marketing, certified, right? Where's the other book here that I wanted to show you? Well, everything I share in it is also related to what we shared here. It's the same concept, the same issues. In order for us to grow our platforms and have somebody glued here, in order for me to have a shout out to Natu, to Chinye, to all our regulars here, right? My brother Gracious Greatness, right? And the rest of you, many of you, right? In order for us to grow our platform, for it to glue like that, I have to tap into something you can relate with. Okay? Now, naturally, when it's positive, it takes me a little bit longer to grow this platform. It's not a crime. It's okay. I'm okay with it. I understand it. It's part of the game, okay? Because it takes a minute, okay? When it's negative in nature, it's easier to connect it, right? Even if you don't live in the Western world, there's a lot of Nigerians that don't live in the Western world that they are following Andrew Tate. Even though the rhetorics is not even, there are some of them following African American men with completely different experiences, but somehow they found one little angle where they can relate, connect. I feel docile, domesticated, weak. I will never admit it with my mouth, but there's a reason why you connect with that message. Allah, keep it balanced. Put some balance. So, ladies, the same thing for you. There's a reason why you're consuming the content you're consuming at a very religious level. It connects with something at an emotional level. A lot of times it's entertainment. Let me just leave you that room. Sometimes it's cruise. Okay? But when we're talking about marriage, relationship, and all this kind of stuff, it's pain. It's coming from a place of pain. Broken, you want to call it broken? Yes. Broken, whatever. I just think broken is a little bit of more of a shaming language, and I try to avoid that. Okay? But there's something at an emotional level that you're connecting with. So again, what kind of man will connect with this and say, I can't wait, let me jump in there and talk, right? It's not necessarily broken. It's something connects at an emotional level. It could also be secondhand. You know someone that has gone through something. Okay, but for the most part, you really don't give a shit, okay, about other people like that. It's personal for the most part, okay? I don't give a shit either, okay? If this is not worth it for me, I probably won't do it. But I enjoy this, and I'm glad, I'm blessed, I feel blessed to be able to share this concept with you, this insight, and still be able to be compensated for it and be able to sustain it. Okay, let's continue. I just want you to know, let me come to the chat real quickly, because I left the chat for a second there. Let's see, let's go back a little bit here. Let's come to the chat. Let me come to the chat. All right, wait, Esther, did I dance with you, right? Esther, did we dance? I can't listen. I can't. I have to make sure that we dance at least for 30 seconds. Voila. All right, let's get to it. I want to come to the chat. I want to engage you guys a little bit. Okay, Toby and Tribe says divorce happens everywhere. Not just the Western world. Maldives, Aruba are not in the Western world. And they're on the top of that list. But let's just forget that they were on the top or the best of that list. No, it doesn't align with our line, right? I'm being sarcastic. Gigi, shout out to you, says that's such a valid point. I forgot what I said. Of course I did. Shei, my guy, says, hey, MOP, I think Daddy Freaks may have been briefed, or maybe has been speaking to people abroad and what they are going through in their marriage. Experience shapes perception. No, it's personal. Okay. Yes, he has been speaking to people, but particularly because he's able to connect with their pain. Okay. And he still doesn't understand the full everything, all the variables that goes into marriage in the abroad. All he's listening to is people that have pain. Okay, and there's no way you can have balanced point of view from that. And let me even tell you, I am a fan of Daddy Freeze. Okay, I catch his lives about marriage or divorce anytime I can catch it. I am so happy he stopped talking about tithing, because when he was talking about tithing, it was like, somebody, but then at one point, tomorrow. And then he started losing his juice. It's a bad idea. It's just a bad idea, right? They're not wrong. It's just that it creates the wrong outcome, right? So, yes, he's listening to only, like, when was the last time you saw somebody come and say, yeah, I'm in a very not perfect, but I'm in a beautiful relationship? It depends. When was the last time he let somebody go for a while, talking about what it takes to have a successful relationship? I'm waiting, okay? I doubt it, right? And I don't blame him for that, because honestly, it's boring, okay? I'm being honest with you, that's boring, okay? True MOP, no freedom. You see, she briefed by who? Men, women, or both equally balanced? Or yeah, definitely not a balance. It's mostly painful stuff he's listening to, and not just Daddy Freeze. To be fair to him, most people on the internet looking for marriage content and relationship are more drawn to pain related stories, and it's fair. It's supposed to be that way. That's how the human brain is set up. That's why you push against it. That's why you say, you know what, I've gone through something. I have a tendency, not you in particular, just in general, I have a tendency to be drawn to negative. Let's just look at Auntie B's number. Whenever anything positive is going on, it's only 500 people. Whenever it's negative, they want to drag Daddy Freeze, including like even today, even though today was a good matching of what's going on, right? Today was that synergy we're looking for. It's still negative, but we give them positive, right? So today, because of the dragging element of it, there was 1,100 people. I'm just letting you know how the human brain works, okay? So, but someone like Daddy Freeze, because if it's personal, he won't look for that balance. It's like, no, he's also getting entertained, right? Or he's getting triggered by people that come for him, which is what he tried to do here. He was actually responding to some comments, if you paid attention, you know? So, yeah, with maybe his friends, I'm assuming now, no, he has no preview to the reality. Speaking to people, Arujojari, people that are speaking from their own point of view, and naturally so, okay? And but if he knows what I know, it would not trigger them. It will ask provoking questions that will get them to tell me a little bit more. I always tell people, tell me the rest of the story. What do you mean? Without why what do you mean? Why not? Hey, are you sure you didn't just some people do that, like you're just the one who is causing trouble in that. I hate that too. Okay, I don't like that too, because then you trigger the person not listening to their pain, right? It just depends. You need to know what you're doing. But again, potential grifting here, okay? Money guns. Don't forget that. These guys access social media platforms of applicants. Lovette said broken men. Yeah. Okay. Now, what about the women? Okay. Let me tell you something about women. Women are beautiful. Okay. The natural nurturing thing is real. Okay. If you find a woman who has not collected woto from a man yet, right, he will sympathize with you naturally. Okay. Or if she has a need of a man and she feels like, you know what, I need to understand, that's why I've been single all along. If that is high enough, if that desire is high enough, you mix that together with the nurturing thing, she will forget about herself and try to cater to you. Okay? But a woman will never understand the experience of a man and can't really advise you. Not when it comes to the harsh reality of what it means to be a man. What it means for a woman that you love to pull the rug from under you, right? And this is how you see it, right? You don't know what you don't know, right? There was pride operating in there, but who do you know that has pride and admit that, yes, I have pride? Even me, I don't admit to that. It takes a lot to be in that space where maybe I was. It will take you going through the experience and coming out on the other side before you realize that was pride. When you are in it, you don't realize it's pride, and you will never admit it. And I don't expect you to admit it, right? So naturally, when it seems like a woman pulled the rug from under you and just say, I want divorce, or asked you stupid questions, I said stupid question, from the way you see it as, well, if we don't work out, can we be friends? And you're like, what do you mean? Kilo mean? Seo, right? And then your insecurity kicks in and you start digging through phones and you're looking for stuff. You know, when you're in that space, right? A woman can sympathize with you. She can't empathize with you. She will not. Yeah. I'm talking about just women, not professionals. There are some professionals that have done enough studies to understand this. Okay? Let's continue. All right. Let me see here. I just informed your acclaimed knowledge. Now go figure out. Let me see what you said. And to be relax. Just go and relax until talking about it being, I got you, my sister. Thank you so much for everything you do. Let's see. I am an IT security expert, madam or sir. If I need to dig information about you, all I need now your name. I will get all your footprints. Okay, are you replying to somebody? I'm not sure here. Stay focused, stay focused. Let's stay focused, let's stay focused. It is well with you, my brother. I feel your pain, bro. May God grant you divine power. Let's see. You guys are talking about something else entirely. Don't center Shay. Shay is listening. I speak my truth, and I like that you said my truth. I like that. You know, let's keep it at that. Okay, I don't hear you. That Freeze no be my friend. Neither is he my enemy. Yeah, it's not. It's not. It's not about Freeze. Don't worry about Freeze. How many? Let me tell you how far we've gone in this conversation. 9 minutes. Okay, it's not about Freeze. Shout out to Freeze for the content. Let's continue.
If I may say, a weak man cannot function in the capacity that he is intended to. That is why, you see, when a man wears a diving suit with oxygen on his back, there is a level.
See analogy.
I think scuba diving, maximum depth. Let's Google scuba diving maximum depth.
The point is making here, I'm just going to be dragging forward.
A scuba diver cannot go below 130 feet.
Right. So the point is making here is that you're a traditional man. Shout out to Ekene. You're a traditional man. You can't survive marriage in the abroad. Could work, right? Could work, right? So imagine abroad where all marriages are just falling apart, right? Just falling apart. 50% divorce rate is not, by the way, it's not really a bad number, okay? You're just overreacting, okay? Yes, I said it, okay? How do you say that? What is the benchmark? What are you measuring against? Okay? You have to have something you're measuring against before you can determine if it's bad. Is it one too many? Every divorce is one too many. We don't like divorce. We don't like the idea of divorce. We don't like the idea of our families breaking up. We all, like, believe it or not, including women, nobody goes into a marriage to just come and want to break it up. Okay? But if you understand how statistics work, you look at 50% and then you have a benchmark. You measure it against the rest of society, right? You measure it against a benchmark. You can't say, I can't come to you and say, too many children on the streets. Did you know that 2% of children are always walking the streets in the evening? I'm going to ask you, 2% of what? As against what? Okay? Listen to what I just said carefully. Okay? Most people, if they can relate, if they already have experience where they feel like their children are walking the street, children are walking the street all the time. When you hear 2%, right? They're like, that's it. They want to hear 98% or 90%, like Daddy Freeze's number, right? 90%. And they're like, that's it. Something must be wrong somewhere. They just say something must be wrong somewhere, right? But if it's a situation where they feel feelings that is too low, 2% like, I knew it, 2%. They don't even bother to ask, 2% of what? 2% as against whose street or whose neighborhood, right? How do you know high crime rates? People always talk about, in the United States, all this mass shooting, blah, blah, blah. Mass shooting as against what? What are you measuring against? Right? There's no society in the world that doesn't have its own calamities. Terrible story. One too many bad situations that we don't want to have. Everybody want to wake up, go to work, and come back safely, right? And every time you hear something that's bad, it's bad. It's as simple as that. But if you really want to do proper assessment and analysis, if you are going to claim that you know the stats, you need to understand the idea of benchmarks. Okay? So 50% that everybody throws around, which is usually somewhere between 40 or 60%, depends on what jurisdiction. 50% of what? 50% of what are we talking about? Should it be better? Yes, I just said it. Every divorce is one too many. No, we don't like that. We don't want that. But if you're going to speak from this standpoint of everything is statistics, I just deal with data and all this kind of stuff, you need to tell me what your benchmarks are. Okay? He should have told me how many countries were on that list, how those studies were done, where did they collect their data from. Nigeria was what, number 21, whatever he said. It doesn't matter because I already know that number is a weird number. He's probably talking about Ikoyi or Lekki alone, right? Because every other place, people are getting married and redeemed in the middle of Ogbesa in Ondo State, and nobody's documenting their marriage, much less their divorce. Nobody is documenting that woman who went around the corner to go and sleep with a boyfriend. Nobody's documenting that, or vice versa, or men who are having multiple girlfriends in the same village. Who is documenting that? And the original wife or the last 3 wives never really left him. So nobody's documenting divorce anywhere. We don't know, like, we need to know what the criteria, how the data was consumed. The point here is that the numbers are useless in these conversations. We need to dig down to personal stories. If we're trying to help, if we claim we're trying to help, okay? It's okay to note the numbers, right? But we need to ask further questions, just like you would do in any kind of studies. There's usually at least a couple more questions, rather than, oh, it's 50%. If 50% what? Somebody would even say and try to push back. They'll say, well, divorce rate is dropping. What do you mean? What most people mean by that is that less people are getting married. Well, if less people are getting married, right, that means people are being extra anal, extra careful before they jump into another marriage. Some of them are ending up single for a lifetime. So obviously, that may create a drop in divorce rate. Is that necessarily a good thing? No. You're not doing proper assessment of the numbers, right? You can't just throw numbers out, right? You can if you're just looking to create entertainment like Daddy Freeze, but if you're looking for solutions, you better be asking further questions. That's what I'm saying.
Technical divers go as deep as 350 feet and sometimes even deeper, but nobody can go to 1,000 feet.
The analogy does not have correlation. It's a terrible analogy, as always, with this conversation. The next guy who's going to do this is going to try to compare, let me go and buy a BMW. Anytime you go to the market, imagine if I buy a BMW and there's a 50% chance that it's going to fail. Nah, terrible analogy. You don't know what you're talking about. Okay? You're not buying a BMW. You're getting married to a man. Right? You're getting married to a man. You have to pay a little more attention than your feelings and your pain. Okay? This is, I'm telling you the reality. Okay? Even when we bring it down to math, you're missing out a big chunk of the variable. Emotional? Yes, power. Your own self, your own ability to self-reflect and say, hey, am I missing something? Right? For all of us, when we go through something that's not nice, our cognitive abilities deteriorate. It's all of us. Okay? It's all of us. So what's the point of that? That's why we tell you, if you've gone through something, you relax. Take time. Take time, drink water, take a shower. Take a shower, okay? Don't jump on the Daddy Freeze platform and start connecting with other people that have gone through something you can connect with, because you will collect. It will get worse, okay? Misery loves company. Yes, that's true, but it creates more misery. That's the reality. I'm being honest with you.
Nobody can go to 1,000 feet. If you're watching on TikTok, double click the screen. My number 1 gifter on TikTok right now is Funds. Big shout out to you, Funds. And my number 2 gifter is King Nas. I'm looking for my money guns. Double click the screen if you're watching.
Hit the like button. We're looking for money guns.
And then
Daddy Freeze and I are looking for money guns.
How long? Maximum length.
Maximum length of what? Of what? Marriage?
For instance, you can spend scuba diving at 100 feet in 20 minutes. Whereas if you limit your
Wait, let me come to the chat.
Look quickly. 5 minutes if you have enough air. So nobody's saying you can stay for 2 days. Meaning you are in a situation that is unnatural. So for you to be in that situation, you have to force it. I'll give you an example. There are birds called swifts. They never land on the ground.
You don't have to force it. You have to adapt. It's something that human beings have always done. You have to adapt. You have to adjust. You have to pivot. In business? Yes. In relationships too. Yes. Adapt doesn't mean you give up your power. It means you identify where your power has moved, adjusted to. Right? And then you find the leverage. That's what it means. Right? It doesn't mean, so men should just be subjected and become doormat. No, I actually hate that. Somebody said earlier, like, I'm always being nice. No, I hate being nice. Actually, I'm going to destroy you. You just won't see it coming. No, I'm not nice. I'm not saying I'm not nice just because it sounds good. It's not beneficial to be nice. People don't like nice people. That's the fact. Okay, because they're asking, why are you being nice to me? It questions, it makes them question if their safety, because people can smell it if you're just being nice, if you're not being authentic. Okay, but I'll wait long enough to completely destroy you, if that's what you mean by nice. Okay, it doesn't work. So I'm never going to ask you as a man or a woman, and just take it, just sit down there and endure it. I'm not going to ask you that. I'm going to help you look for your power. Okay? And then after you find your power, you can choose if you want to collaborate with a partner to use that power, as opposed to using the power against each other. That's where I come from. That's where all my angles come from. Okay? But if you're caught up in your emotions, you can't engage your power. Okay? You'll give yourself away so soon. Everybody will be able to tell what your weaknesses are. Even that the freeze will tell you, like, you become weak and docile, and then you go there and you start doing money gun. Somebody just called you weak and docile, and you're so excited, and you start giving money guns. Shout out to money guns for Daddy Freeze. I'm not shaming. It's money gun. You deserve to be getting paid for entertaining. But I'm talking to you if you want actual real life answers. Okay? You know in your heart of hearts that there are people that are doing marriage successfully and family successfully in the Yankees, because if there was not, it would be an active war zone. Okay? You know that hit dogs holler. Okay? You know that empty barrels make the loudest noise. You know these things. I don't have to teach you that. I'm just reminding you. So if it's loud, Andrew Tate-ish, it's probably empty. Right? And there will be more than enough things you can look around you that makes it look like it's solid, but it will be short lifespan. Go and look at all of them that started before COVID. They're nowhere. It's either they're captured or something. It's over. It's over because it's not sustainable. You get quick, fast success, rise to the top, crash, burn. It needs to be sustainable overall, long term. Okay? They are the one that can't survive. They are the one that this analogy is giving. They can't survive in this environment. You are dealing with other human beings. So if you trigger people unnecessarily, they will silence you. The matrix will silence you. It's the way it works. Okay? You're moving too fast. Yes. You're not using the wrong way. You will crash and burn precisely. It's real. You can look at that anyway. So the analogy is actually working against him. It's trying to say, you are a traditional man, you can't survive in the Yankee. No, it's actually trying to teach you to disengage from you being able to understand that you need to adapt wherever you go in life. He's saying you don't need to adapt. Just go back to Nigeria. Take your money. Shout out to Shay. Take your $500,000, go back to Nigeria so that you can sustain a family. But deal with the paternity fraud. You can deal with that one. Oh, wait, paternity fraud. Let's change topic to that. This woman, paternity fraud. Wait. Let's not change topic. Shebi Nigeria is better to raise children. Let's not change topic. Not so fast. Right? But it's all over the place. Just all over the place. The scuba what? I know where it's going, but the analogy is stupid at best.
They spend their whole time in the air. They fly in the air, they mate in the air, they eat in the air. Sometimes they even sleep in the air without ever coming down. It's natural for them. There are fish who are in the water who never come out of the water. Everything they do inside that water. And it is comfortable.
Wait for the point, too. Wait, too.
I don't know if I'm coming.
Don't sleep, don't sleep.
The situation the Western world is creating with regard to marriage is unnatural. So you have to wear.
Don't sleep on our president.
Because as a man, you are not built to live that kind of life.
What kind of life?
I don't know who it is that I'm talking
Did you take the time to ask him what kind of life?
As a man, you are not domesticated.
What is domesticated?
Evolved. It's like eagles. They evolved to fly.
Never mind. What does he mean by domesticated?
Many things into our lives that have destroyed us. I'll give you an example. Refined sugar. Africans were not having cancer and diabetes and high blood pressure.
This is some good points here. But the analogy is terrible. We all want things to be faster, easier, simpler, better. Microwave generation, microwave society did not just fall out of the skies because we want it. Okay? We're obsessed with it. All of us. Not just the Yankee or Western world. The Western world is doing it successfully because there's a market for it. They sell it to una. That's why. Now there's a point to what it's making where maybe we need to find a balance. Well, so now we're talking about adapting. Oh, but in the other side of his mouth, he's saying, don't adapt. Just say no. Right? Just say no to going to the Western world without addressing the value of the conversation. What is the value in people japaing? Why are people japaing? Again, we're asking why again. This is why you have to, I know it's one of the words that we are afraid of. Depends on why. Why are we afraid of asking why? Why is it that people are japaing? Why are they escaping? Don't give me your reasons from your experience. Let's do a study. It is not study to interview people for money guns on the internet. That is not a study. Okay? That's more so marketing. Okay? Because there's a certain rhetoric that will garner more engagement and help the platform grow faster. That's not a study. That's active marketing. The same thing goes for Kevin Samuels. The same thing goes for Uncle Pearl until she got exposed. The same thing goes for, it's marketing. Okay? And let me even shock you. The same thing goes here. The only thing is that I know listen, I'm trying to build something long term here. I'm actually on a mission here to help 1,000 families per year. But we need to break it down to the roots. We can't afford to be talking from our ass at a macro level, community level, when the issues are personal. We'll be capping, we'll be lying to ourselves, we'll be deceiving ourselves because misery loves company. We will use stupid analogies like scuba diving in the water, the fishes loves the water, blah, blah, blah. The fishes will flow to where there's value. Do you not understand that? It's a global world. It's backwards to think anything else. It's backwards and myopic way of thinking, outlook on life. We're all exposed. If you're not exposed, if you can't japa, your money is controlled by the dollars. Are you whining me? Your money is controlled by the dollars until further notice. Military power. Don't get it twisted. Okay? Even Russia triumphed, and Russia is the second greatest. You need to understand these things beyond just surface level talking point. You need to understand this. You need to take your time on it. Okay? The fishes will find their way, even if it means they can potentially die. If they are hungry for value, they will flow. They will. If you block them, yeah, sure. If you block them somehow, some way, yeah, sure. They might not be, but as soon as they can, they will move. The average fish will move. Yes, there will be that one fish that will be like, no, I'm macho, I'm super. No, let me try something. Yeah, even self. There's a price to that. And some of them do exist and they make it. Right? But an average fish, let's call the fish, right? They look for value. It's just what it is. Okay? And it's, shout out to my brother. I'm going to bring a guest here on Friday, Brother Markins. The bottom line is that people, everything in life wants what they don't have. Okay? It's actually a need, even though it's a want. It's or deep. Somebody cannot just come and use fishes and scuba diving to confuse you because they connected with your pain. You have to take it easy on yourself. Relax. You too, you deserve soft life. Somebody left you, they collected water, you thought it was going to be different and they left you. I understand. That's rough on anybody. That's very rough. Especially if kids are involved. That's very rough. Okay? But people who are also going through similar pain, they can't really help you. Okay, as a support group where you guys are hearing each other out and you have the same goal of understanding all the way through, sure. But where all they do is want to tap into your pain to collect money from you from time to time, you have to pay attention to that. You have to be like, whoa. It's been 2 months. I've been listening to this guy. I still feel pain feel pain. There's something I'm trying to figure out. You have to pay attention to that. Right?
When they were not eating sugar.
Sugar.
The Western world introduced sugar. And the many sicknesses that the Africans had sugar cane, they did not have sugar.
But Africans don't want sugar cane. They want sugar until they find out that it's hurting them, and then we'll adjust back. Casualties. Sadly, it's just that's the journey. Okay? But to now pretend suddenly that people didn't actually want the sugar. They just want to, no, relax. You are right that the processed food is probably going to hurt us, right? Well, because it's not natural. Well, we will find out at some point. What do I say about coconut head? They know who will listen anyway. So maybe that if he's actually right, he's speaking to some kind of coconut head. Come back home. But I'm telling you, if you want to do something sustainable, sustainable over time, you have to pay attention to value. Value is not the same thing as money. Value is why people want money. It's not the other way around. People just don't want money just because they want money. They want money because of the value they're going to get or buy with money, right? Value is greater. At some point in a society, shout out to my brother who always gives this example, Dream Night, Clayton. At some point, is it him? I'm not even sure. There was a point, I don't know the completeness of this story, but let me just try. There's a point that money was so valueless, I think it was after the World War II or something like that. Don't quote me. And there was a basket full of money and people stole the basket and left the money. Think about that. Because the money was worth less. Nigeria is a society where people worship money. Precisely the mindset that's working against that society. Right? They worship money. The scriptures talk about not pedestalizing money. The love of money is the root of all evil. You think that was just a spiritual talk. You don't realize how connected your whole life is to that concept. Do I love money? Yes. Liquidity? Yes. Use it to buy value? Yes. Money as a form of leverage in the midst of crisis when the value of assets has declined. Particular type of assets? Yes. But money as a holistic everything there, that's what Nigerian society was built on. That's how the pastors, the fake ones, get Nigerian. Well, not just the fake ones, the ignorant ones as well. There are some pastors, not necessarily fake, they're just ignorant. Okay? They get you because that's how they get you giving testimonials about how you found money under your pillow. Who would buy into that testimony and say, God, me too. Who would buy into that? That's a person that's pedestalized cash. Right? Just look around you. The society, the best of society is now built around that concept. It doesn't work. Yes, it works temporarily. We love money. But in the long run, it doesn't work. Right? You can't have a society that values money or anything myopic, like just what it looks like, aesthetics. It doesn't last. Where's Hush Puppy? Shout out to Hush Puppy, one of Daddy Freeze's best friend. Oh my. There's some of us, if once you are exposed, you're not oh my. Listen, if I see Versace building in Dubai, I'm still like, oh, this is beautiful. I know how to appreciate that, but it's not that deep. No, it's not. I will enjoy it. You put all this nice fancy stuff in front of me, I will enjoy it, right? Okay? So I can't really use the fact that he was filming it to judge him, but it's a consistent thing now about this worship of money. Just having money. Like, dude, you don't know money if that's your rhetoric. You don't understand money. I'll recommend a book for you. It's called How Money Works by Ray Dalio. Okay? It's one of the richest hedge fund managers around here. Okay? It's called How Money Works. Oh, actually, there's a free video somewhere. It's a short video. Watch the video first. Don't even worry about books. Okay? Watch the video. See how money works. Money does not exist without value. Not the other way around. Okay? Anyway, let's continue.
The human being, the human body, did not evolve to be able to consume sugar. So sugar for a black man, it's a death sentence. I don't know who it is I'm speaking to.
Sugar for a black man is a death by deletion
There are
sentence.
people who eat
Oh,
a lot of sugarcane. Sugarcane is,
you're right.
how do I put it? Still contains a lot of sugar. Sugarcane contains
Irrelevant.
that sugar is actually made from sugar.
Irrelevant.
Sugar is actually made from sugarcane. But you see,
Irrelevant.
fine sugar
Nice try, Daddy Freeze.
without the minerals, without the fiber. So African tribes who ate a lot of sugarcane were not getting diabetes.
Irrelevant.
Just like
Nice
African
try.
tribes were eating a lot of natural honey, raw honey. Those ones that they will climb the mountain to go and
Let me
get
see if I can
honey,
fast it a little bit
yada,
more.
yada. They were not getting diabetes. They were not having cancer. There were stories of cancer here and there, one here, one there, not like what we have today.
Irrelevant.
The Western world forced a diet upon the black man.
The funny thing is that there's a space for this lesson that is dishing out. There is a space. There's a lesson there. It's just not relevant from this old justification is making. There's a place for it. I think this is what some people mean by he's making some good point. He got you, okay? He got you lost in the... It's not relevant to the point. He's doing to justify BS with nothing, essentially. Okay? Technology has its downsides. Social media, as beautiful as it is, has its downsides. Yes, it's a double-edged sword. It can destroy you. It can destroy everything that you cook. Everything that you care about, right? How so? Well, because it's a bathroom wall. Anybody, including Daddy Freeze and myself, can slap anything they want on the internet. It's user-generated content. Some people are better marketers than the others. Some people are content creators. They have their own agenda, right? Okay. I'm keeping on to be awake. Oh, I'm sorry. I know. Let's see. Auntie B, say I'm enjoying this show. Shout out to you, Auntie B. Make sure, okay, she says she's on vacation now. She's on vacation. So it's okay. It's all cool. But I need her to be resting though. Shay says, I just the laugh here. MOP, me, I have a different opinion. Marriage either in Nigeria or the West, no be beans. One is favorable to men. The other is favorable to women. Let's set the record straight. You're wrong. You know, I'm not even used to telling people they're wrong here. You're absolutely wrong. Okay? You're wrong. Nice try though. Okay, nice try. You cannot blame the weather. Rain and sunshine. You can try, but it doesn't work. Okay? You can't blame the environmental factors. It's your responsibility to learn how to adapt and adjust. When you're confused, it's time to learn something new, right? You can't blame. You can't use blame, period. Okay, let me show you. Blame is a terrible tool. It's anti-seductive. It doesn't work. It's a poison. Okay? Number one, shaming. A tactic that Daddy Freeze is very familiar with. Insult. It doesn't work. Blame and fault. You know, at least you have to give me your moral compass. You have to give me more. There's too many variables, so it doesn't work. Okay? Too many variables that you probably don't have enough patience to unpack. So it won't work. You know? It's the fault of the Western world. What are you trading for that? Can we blame you for trading something for that? Or we should just avoid the fact that you JAPA for a reason and it's your responsibility to adapt? Adapt doesn't mean a man should become doormat. That's oversimplifying it. Okay? That yells incompetence. That's all that says. Okay? A victim. Yeah, right now I'm victim shaming a little bit. And I don't mean to, because shaming doesn't work. Okay? What I'm saying here is that you could be a victim, but as a man especially, you don't have that safety net. You can't afford to have that rhetoric. It will work against you 100% of the time. You need to ask further questions. That is a space of how you feel right now. You need to ask more questions. Right? That's generalizing and saying everybody, all men, they didn't figure this out. It's all breaking up. Clearly, that's wrong. See how easy you're wrong. That's easy. That's very easy to be wrong. when you make such generalized statements. Condemnation doesn't work. Judgment doesn't work. Guilt tripping people. A lot of time when people are guilt tripping people, they don't mean to do that, but it's a tactic. It's like a controlling, manipulative tactic. They're poisons. They will work against you all the time. Discrete logic is either this or that. Choose a side. Doesn't work. There's nuances. There's more to it. That's why this conversation will not end today. Okay, there's more to it. It takes practice. It's getting better. It takes falling on your face and failing. That was part of the formula. You have to fail too. Right? And hopefully you don't get stuck in failure. Because when you get stuck in failure, you just say, you know what? Western world is the fault of the Western world. And there's some environmental factors that when you're not competent will help you to destroy your family faster. Yes, because women have options. Yes, they have options. They don't have to take BS. Even if it's a perception. Like the woman can be wrong, but if she perceives that you're the wrong guy, yes, she has options to exercise. More in the Western world than in Nigeria. But that does not equate to, marriage just, no. Marriage everywhere in the world is the same skill set you need. Some men in Nigeria, their wife left them for a bororo, curly ear guy who is on the radio talking to other people about marriage. I won't say anything more than that. Go figure. Inside of Nigeria. And it's not just that guy. It's happening every day. Shout out to Judy Austin's ex-husband. That happened in Nigeria. Shout out to May Yul Edochie. That happened in Nigeria. You need more examples? Shout out to Auntie Joke Jacob, Olu Jacob, Joke Silva. That happened in Nigeria. Oh, these are all anecdotal. You're right. The point is that you don't have enough to make that conclusion. But you do have enough examples that you can ask more questions. Say, how did they do it? How? Right? You have some examples there. Condescension. Instead of everything I'm saying right now, there's some little bit of condescension here and there. I'm also entertaining, okay? But if this was a personal one-on-one relationship here, could it work? At some point, you start taking offense to me being condescending. Sarcasm, same thing, okay? You're like, I don't value you. Right? Right and wrong obsessed. Similar to discrete logic. It doesn't work. So blame. The point I'm making here is that blaming doesn't work. Especially if you are blaming the invincible environmental factor. Blame rain, blame sunshine, blame Western world, blame the matrix. Who is the matrix? You're giving your power away. You're giving your problems away. Don't give your problem away. That's what Daddy Freeze is trying to get you to do. Give your problem away to something invincible, Western matrix. How are you going to get to solution or help anybody if you're giving the problem away? Because the solution is attached to the problem. Mindset. It's a mindset. It's a mindset. Okay. Abundance mindset. Right? If you need time, you give yourself time to settle. Maybe there's more there to learn. There's more to it. Let me play that the freeze a little bit more.
And the black man cannot cope with that diet.
The black man cannot cope with that diet.
Or his Furan or his Ogi. And Ogi like that, no milk, nothing, and eat akara. And they're good. But you see, the Western world introduced sedentary lifestyles. Palm wine contains a lot of sugar, but because the sugar is there with all the yeast and all those things, the people drinking the palm wine were fine.
The Western world cannot come and do anything to you unless they divide you first. Divide and conquer. Ever heard of that before? They can't do nothing to you. They have to be able to infiltrate too. Sometimes they bring you value. They give you baits. Bite on this. A strategy that Daddy Free is actually using right now. Not necessarily intentionally, by the way. Divide, conquer. Right? Again, you cannot blame external factors. You can't blame another person. As a matter of fact, you should refrain away from blaming yourself. That's called guilt. It will work against you. You can't see clearly if you feel extremely terrible and bad about it. That's why they call it healing. You have to go through a process where you become closer and closer to numb so that you can understand what is going on, so that you can not numb exactly, you should still be a human being, but you can operate from a place of understanding, right? So you can see clearly what's going on, you know. Yeah. Generalizations in general, it just, you know, we all do it, but it doesn't work, you know. Yeah, this show is definitely should not center anybody. I'm just looking around for other people's comments, all that, anything, including Shay, by the way. Shout out to Shay. Shay is always engaged when it comes there. But I just want to make sure that exactly, Shay, you failed on that comment. If a couple put in what they're supposed to, no loss. That's context. Remember on the other show, I said context. What your statement suggested, without centering you, is that even if you put in the work in the Western world, you will fail. That's false. That's wrong. You know, that's not true. So when I open the lines, let's see. I would love to do that very soon. Let's see. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Let's see. Ice, where have you been? I know you came here like 2 weeks ago. I know you're busy though. Shout out to you, Ice. I see you. Toby and Tribe. Who forced anyone to take sugar? Thank you, Toby and Tribe. That's the question. You can make your choice. Just educate yourself. Yes. Did they know that you're going to bite that sugar anyway? Yes, they did. Okay. Is there a matrix that will give you sugar anyway? Yes, they will give you sugar. What do you think this is? This is the real world. This is the real world. People will give you sugar that will destroy you. Yes. There are modern day feminism that will give you sugar to destroy your family. Yes. And they will call it feminism. And it will be disconnected from the true sense of or essence of feminism. And now everybody is confused. And you're like, wait, what's wrong with feminism? You're like, what's wrong with feminism? You want me to play videos for you of people saying that black babies must be deleted because it's feminism? You want me to play videos for you? These are the forces. You know, the scripture says you fight not. You fight not flesh, right? You thought it was a joke, huh? You thought it was about Jesus. No, it's for you. You need to pay attention beyond religion. It's real. You're not fighting flesh. The forces are real. This is an ecosystem. It's designed for the survival of the fittest. But part of being the fittest is to understand that people is a form of leverage. To have a system that works for a lot more than just a few figureheads who think they figured it all out, right? You could just collect. The same people will come and chop your head if you don't pay attention to the balance that's needed in this. It's all connected. All the principles are connected. They're all connected, okay? They're all connected. It's about understanding is as it's deeper. There are nuances deeper than right and wrong, okay? Ideally, I would actually say Shei is wrong, but I don't want to. I would tell him he's right, but I don't want to center him. I want him to. It's the wrong that I just told you. It's not even about the wrong. I just want you to understand the nuances. This understanding them is what makes marriage work. Okay. Somebody 2 days ago said, "Not everybody is lucky to have a perfect wife." I say, "Sherry Willie, there's a perfect wife somebody, eh? It is no wonder why you just collect with the water. A person who thinks that somebody is lucky and they have a perfect wife somewhere, they will collect. The same thing goes for anybody who thinks the perfect husband is somewhere, right? If you're too rigid in your thoughts, if you're not asking enough questions, you'll collect. Okay, there's too many forces beyond flesh against you. Too many forces. Okay, and the when I say too many forces, that's not to discourage that there's no answer. It's to encourage you to focus more on self-intelligence, self-awareness. I didn't even mean to play that. Okay. All right. There's too many forces. So the only point of leverage you have for the most part is self. Make sure that you're good for the marketplaces. There is an active marketplace, and people will always go for the hardest things in the market. Nobody wants to spend time around you if it's toxic. Not necessarily because you're toxic, because they deem you toxic. They are the beholder, right? The market is not you, it's the other side. The one that you tend to point finger at, actually, they're the one that determine your value in this marketplace. Never mind the moral values, I am perfect. No, it's perception, okay? And part of perception is the reality as well, because in the long run, they are paying attention if it's real, authentic or not, okay? But I'm just letting you know that if you come off as a bad person and you're actually a good person, nobody cares. No one cares. Let's play a little bit more of this.
Fine.
This is the foundation of the conversation.
To a new level.
Okay.
So, the man was built by evolution. God did not create you. You evolved. And as you evolved, you evolved as a result of adaptations.
All right. That's absolutely correct. But it's going to use to justify BS. You adapt. Okay? You don't blame the environment. You can't imagine you're in a wood of lions. And so, well, the lion chopped me up because there was too much rain. No, it was your responsibility to protect yourself, not just yourself, your lioness, and your children. Well, since they like to use such terrible analogy all the time, let's go back to human beings. Wherever society you find yourself, there are policies and concepts and ideologies and options that can affect your success rate. You are absolutely correct about that. You don't get to blame those things because they're not human. You get to blame yourself if you have to blame at all. I think blaming is a terrible strategy, but you get to hold yourself responsible for learning how to adapt. Adapting does not mean you become doormat. That means you don't understand what I'm talking about. Okay? It means you engage your power. Okay? It means all that I'm traditional stuff, it's not going to work. Okay? What's the message here for the ladies? The policies are designed against your family. You're going to be given illusion of options. The grass is going to seem greener on the other side very quickly. It's just better out there. Right? Your own situation is going to feel narcissistic very quicker than you would be if you were living in a village in Oshogbo. Illusions, potential illusions. It's not always illusion. The point is, before you assume you know what you're doing, ask questions. It's polar opposite, but the same issues. Before you assume you know what's going on, ask questions. Before you find yourself on Tinder and swipe, and it's been 15 years and there's nothing quality that you've engaged with. In fact, you find out that you've gone on a date with a person who had just been showcased as somebody's new fiancé. Ouch! Wahala. It's real. There's no one side that's going to collect more here. There's only children that will collect, because they'll not be adults. The children will collect, unfortunately, much more. We have to pay attention beyond the obvious, something that connects with your nerves so soon. Relax. There's more to it. And we cannot get to it until you're willing to tell your story. Personal, one-on-one, coaching, counseling, therapy. Generalized conversation. Cruise. 1 or 2 lessons here and there. Cruise. That's about it. I'm telling you, I'm warning you now. I can't save all of the coconut head in the world. I'm sorry. I can't. There's only so much. But these principles are true 100% of the time. Why? Because they've stood the test of time. It's not just modern times. coconut head existed before. They use their weakness to get them. It's their weakness that they use to get you. It's your weakness. The enemy is always paying attention to your weakness. So guess what you should be doing? You should be paying attention to what the enemy is using, right? Who is the enemy? You also tend to be your own worst enemy, just in case you don't know.
Even the way we eat 3 square meals is not natural.
Irrelevant.
Orange juice with sugar in the morning with cereal is not natural.
These are the issues. Irrelevant.
It's not natural.
Confusion.
At a point in my life, I just woke up and said, you know what, I'm not eating. If you see me eating breakfast, I'm in a hotel.
The point is making is that it's not natural. Marriage is not natural in the Western world. Confusion. It's a lie. The information is not complete, at least. Okay?
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
It's a lie. How do I know? Because other people are doing it successfully. What is success? Some people just stay in it because they're like, see, that's another part of the conversation. Do you want to dig through that conversation? We can have that conversation as well. But I doubt it. You just want to conclude that it is the fault of everything else but self. And it actually doesn't have to be your fault. It could just be you don't know what you don't know. There's something to learn. There's something to learn. It never has to be anybody's fault. No, it has to be somebody's fault because we have to hold this. You have to hold them accountable. Hold them accountable. Like easy. Drink water. Hold it accountable. You go satisfy yourself, okay? But you won't get out on the other side. You will get stuck in the same position. Because people don't really give a shit. They don't care. They don't care less. Drink sugar K, scuba duba. She would dump your ass if she deems you incompetent, or she deems that there's better stuff in the market than you, or when she thinks the grass is greener on the other side, she will dump your ass. Because sometimes you get to a position and self-preservation is always the best way to move forward. And all along you've been right. Because you have your own experience. Ola, you are encouraging bad behavior. Kinikawashi bad. What we go do now?
And I just want to enjoy. But normally, what I eat for breakfast is granite, pear, 1 pear, pour a handful of granite in my mouth, a handful of cashew nuts in my mouth, and I eat some grapes. That's my breakfast. Finish. If I feel like I'm a bit dizzy and slow because I don't have carbs, I eat sugar-free biscuits. This Jacob's cream crackers. I eat 2 or 3. It has no sugar. I'm good. Anytime I'm hungry again, I go and nibble on some grapes or some cherries. I always have them in my fridge. Always have pears. When it's afternoon, I eat fruits. It's only towards evening that I can sit down and say, okay, I'll eat half of fufu.
I'll let it play a little bit while I talk. Let me see here. Black babies or black male babies to be deleted. I think I know who you're referenced. There's a few of them, but I think I know who you think I know who you know. There's one that's most popular. Yeah. Let's see. I want to ask MOP a question. Hey, maybe you want to ask the question in the chat. Just put a Q next to it because I want to. Let me see here. I'm looking at the time. I'm definitely going to allow some people from, but if you're eager, please, you can drop it by putting a Q next to it. You can drop questions. Okay. It's true. Adaptation is key. He's right about that, except that he's using it to justify nonsense. You know, he's definitely right about that. Yeah. A policy is designed against your family. It wasn't designed against the family. See, again, interpretations of the events. When there's rain or sunshine or some kind of environmental factor that is not favorable, your interpretation of it would determine your next move. It would determine your outcome, your next point of outcome. You cannot afford to interpret it as policy is designed against family. Okay? It's your interpretation. Same event, but your interpretations. Okay? All right. So even though it's the same event, your interpretation of it would determine your next point, your next move, and potentially your outcome, right? Okay. Can you keep it down, baby? You want to say hello? Say hello to the people. Say hi.
Hello, people.
Okay, say bye now.
Say bye, people.
Okay, bye-bye. No, you bye. Bye. Be quiet, okay?
Yay!
All right. So there are policies that gives human beings options. You have options. Just human, including you, brother. There are that gives you much more options, right? Those options, they're double-edged sword. You can use it to destroy yourself. It is you that can use it to destroy yourself. Okay? Just like any other place in the world. There are policies that can work for the masses, but against specific individuals because they refuse to engage knowledge and wisdom. You cannot blame the design of those policies or those policies, not when you are benefiting from them as a person, as an individual. Because you have the same options. If you deem your wife that she's moving mad, you can literally exit by filing a few paperwork, right? But there's the other aspect of our social construct, right? There's a part of the way we are raised. As men, part of the way you survive, the way you feel a sense of fulfillment is being able to keep your home together. And when you fail at that, it tampers with the part of your brain that women are not necessarily previewed to. So effectively, you're the one getting value in that sense from staying in a toxic situation. And it is no wonder why a lot of men don't think they have the options of leaving or not tolerating BS without making it all about all of women. That one woman did something that you deem not proper and you decided, I'm leaving, or I'm not going to tolerate that behavior. Leaving does not have to be a permanent decision. But it's the moment you demonstrate that you have options, you gain a little extra level of respect. People can't take you for granted all willy-nilly if you've demonstrated that you have options, even as a man. Okay? So, no, that's not exactly what you were saying. What you're saying is it's designed against family. There's no such thing. All the policies, if I have to generalize, all the policies in the United States, at least that I know, are designed to benefit people that are able to sustain a family. People that are not able to do that, they are collecting woto financially in many other areas of our society. Not because the policy work against them, because they are not competent. Not being competent is not a crime. It's just what it is. And sometimes you have to try it a second time with somebody else before you figure it out. And the people that will collect the most is the one concluding that no, it is just designed against a certain group of people. While they are probably right,
Well, you're right.
they will continue to collect because there's no room for growth. They concluded, right? It's very simple. Just be open to asking more questions, right? And focus on self. Take care of yourself. It's simple, but it's not easy. It's easier said than done. Let's see what he's saying now.
And they do their business and they make their billions. And every year, 2-3 times a year, they go to Dubai.
So here we go. He started talking about money.
And go with their family, with their private jets, transfer flights, or do whatever.
He started talking about money here, but let me play a video for you. No, wait. Before I play that video, let me go back a little bit.
What is gate? You'll be seeing Dan Tata's helicopter.
Okay. If the Dan Tata's helicopter.
Private jet is waiting for him in the airport. He needs to move. The helicopter comes and picks him from home. There's another house in that same Banana Island. Dan Tata's Pex Ikeji is living here. Pex, if I lie, cut me. Pex Ikeji, Linda Ikeji's younger brother.
Wait, let's go back. He's talking about money, okay?
You are living abroad because you don't have a better choice.
You're living abroad because you don't have a better choice. You're poor. That's how it started. Let's go back. Somebody is triggering him in the comments.
Abroad, the
Just,
life we
you
live
could tell.
normally abroad. Let me break it down to you.
Let's go back a
How many
little
of
bit.
you live in $10 million homes?
How many of you live in $10 million homes? Pastor Freeze, Daddy Freeze, right? Is equating to living context, right? It's indirectly insinuating that living in $10 homes is the same thing as higher quality of life, right? Because that's the whole point of these terrible comparisons. There's no need to compare lifestyle in Nigeria too, but he started it. That's what this. He started it in the public space. I'm sure somebody maybe somebody shamed Nigerians in his comment. Maybe that's why he's responding to maybe, okay? But in the public space, he's absolutely wrong in this conversation, okay?
Where you are driving and they are telling you slow down, horses are crossing. And you see children riding their horses and crossing road. You know what I'm talking about. Anybody that wants to dispute it. How many of you live in $10 million homes? Pex Ikeji said $2 million, 100%. You will argue this thing is because when you come to Nigeria, if you don't have enough money, you cannot live the life you will live normally abroad.
Well, enough money is subjective. What is enough money, right? $10 million, either you're talking $10 million or $1 million. Even once you're getting into the zone of $700,000 home, an average person anywhere in the world does not live in $700,000 homes and above. Okay, it's not a crime. It's the reality. Okay, all right. But way too many more people have access to good quality of life. Right, that's really what we should be talking about. And in any developed nation, including Nigeria, which is I consider it a developing nation, what they should be focused on is making sure that the common man have access to decent quality of life, right? Not $10 million homes. Could make sense, right? If you want a $10 million home, that's not a crime either, right? Because that's not the topic. The topic is a word for our men. The average man that cannot keep a home together, not a crime, just a reality, right? That's had a hard time, failed at marriage. That's who he's talking about. He's talking about people who failed at marriage. That's it. He's not talking about anybody else, okay? He's talking to people who failed at marriage. If you're married and you can relate to what he's saying, it's because you're struggling in marriage. We know many of you too. That's what's going on, okay? That's why you're able to relate. And if you continue in that line, you will end up attracting what you fear the most, because you created it, because that's your reality. Eventually it will happen, okay? It's, the universe has to align and agree with you, basically, okay? All right, that's who he's talking to. Now he's suggesting to come back so that they can live in $10 million homes. And we know for a fact that this average man, because we know that it's potentially around 40-50% of people who have tried the marriage thing, right? We know that they don't even have it, okay? They don't have the social power, emotional intelligence to be able to, because these are needed in the world of business too, to survive in Nigeria. They don't have it. What they would typically do is run back, spend their life savings, including their wife's life savings on a house, lose everything and then run back, or ask the wife to send money down. I will not be hearing these stories. We've been hearing these stories now, right? And they say, well, she's not supportive. Yeah, she can be. You're right. She's not supportive, but it's probably hard for her to be supportive if she can't see where she's going, right? Would you say, right? Well, she's just for the street. She's always had a boyfriend. Like, you're right too. You chose to stay there. It is not your fault. But that's what created that situation. Now you have an opportunity to have proper interpretations of this event so you can move forward, because your whole life is still ahead of you. You can actually create better experiences. But when you are pointing fingers, you get stuck in that space. You get stuck. You can't move forward because it's painful and it's addictive, right? After you finish, after every episode, you feel terrible. But it's addictive. You keep coming back to the same space, even though it's painful. It's time to pay attention.
Let me break it down to you. Abroad, if you have in your whole life, all you have is 2,000 pounds, you have light, you have police.
If all you have, that statement is wrong by default because it didn't say income. It didn't say if all you're bringing in is 2,000 pounds. It said if you have. If all you have in anywhere in the world is 2,000 pounds, it's to finish and you go collect woto. I'm not taking him out of context. I know what he's saying. Okay? He's focused on money and not the wisdom or money intelligence. It's just focused on money, not money intelligence. Okay? Just letting you know.
You have running water. That's why you are abroad. Because that 2,000 pounds, if that's all you had in Nigeria, hunger will beat you. So you are living abroad. You are living abroad because you don't have a better choice. If you had $10 million cash today, you'd be back in this Nigeria. Forget anything that anybody is telling you. Sorry, not all of you. There are still some.
He's right about this. If you have $10 million cash today, you will listen to this guy. If you don't know, if that money fell on your lap and you didn't work for it, if it was like some kind of lottery or something, right? If you worked for it and you saved it over time, you're not listening to him because you would think he's stupid, okay? Just by default, because you know where that money came from. But if that money fell on your lap, lotto, you just won it, right? Which is the same mindset that people that don't have that kind of money have. You know, when they say, if I had $10 million today, that's how they think as well, because they don't have that money, obviously, right? What he's right that you will go back to Nigeria. Here's the part that he's not telling you. The consequences of that is that you're going to lose. That money is not enough. You will lose all of it because you don't know what you're doing with that money. Money is a spirit. I don't know if you know yet. Have you ever had enough money in the bank that you've never really seen? That money start talking to you like, you should do this, do that, do that, do that, do this, do this. It start telling you all kind of things you should do. And you will lose that money, right? I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. It might take experience to understand what I'm saying. If you have money that fell on your lap, some kind of windfall, okay, if it came too fast, he's right. You would think that the next best move is to move back to Nigeria. I can picture that person right now. Yeah, I can picture that person right now.
He shock you.
I can see that person right now. It's a lot of money. It's a life-changing amount of money. Precisely. Which is why you will lose your mind. Thinking the next best move, like, and you're like, this money will never finish. This money will never finish. Yeah. Every money you make came from somebody's pocket. You know, Yoruba people say, àlejò lówó. Okay? They say àlejò lówó. That means money is a visitor. Is it visitor or stranger? I don't know. It's probably more visitor. Meaning, money is flowing. Right? Even when you try to stock it inside of a garbage somewhere in your basement, it will lose some kind of value because of inflation. I talked about it earlier. In the last 10 years, about 2.5 to 3% inflation rate. It will lose value. You can't hold money on stage like that. Money flows. That's even if you stock it, right? Yeah, you have to experience it first, most likely. Yeah, but he's right that you would think the next best move is to take that money back to Nigeria. Okay, it's not one particular person. I was telling my mother this a few days ago. I said, you can't afford to interpret that somebody take money from you, because you will become a victim again. The forces will take that money from you again if you think it's a particular person who took that money from you. If you don't have money intelligence, that money will be taken away from you. You will lose that money. I don't care how big it is. Okay? You don't know what leverage is, right? The best thing you can do with that kind of money, if you have that kind of windfall, is to live off of the interest. That's it. Okay? But even that is not exactly, it's not that simple. I just oversimplified it. Okay? Because you put that money in the wrong place, you will lose it. Thinking you're about to live off of interest. Okay? If you have that kind of money, the lower the interest rate typically that you're getting from it that you can live off of, the safer it is. You know what greed will tell you? This kind of greed rhetoric that Daddy Freeze is talking about right now. Greed will tell you like, you get better interest rate somewhere else. Yeah. Oh my shock, He could shock you.
He shock you.
Yeah, I don't want to turn the conversation to money. Yeah, money is energy, absolutely. You can't keep it on stage, no matter what you try, But the human mind is talking from common sense, and common sense is a terrible guide to life. Common sense! You have $10 million, just go back to Nigeria, that money go far. I feel the pain right now of losing that kind of money. I just feel it. Ola, are you speaking from experience? Damn Skippy, of course. Damn Skippy. Let me play this video for you.
Brazil, been there. United Kingdom, been there. Switzerland, been there. Grenada.
Moshe, been there. Yanapaja, been there. Jibo, been there. Ikorodu Anaba, been there. Underbridge, Ikeja, been there. Alausa, been there. Sholo Yahweh, you are going to lose it. Let the poor
breathe. Let the poor breathe. Bala blue. Let the poor breathe.
Different from Bala blue. Blue. Bulaba.
It's the same concept. Relationship, money, power, self, social, emotional. You just need to understand a few core principles and you win. Always. Undefeated. Okay?
20% of the population that want to stay. 80 to 90% of Nigeria will be back home. You know what $20 million is? It means you are sick, you can fly abroad and go and get your treatment and come back. If you are watching me on TikTok, double click the screen. You know I'm telling you the truth.
Nah, it's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
The only way what he's saying will be true. The only way what he's saying will be true is if it's cash flow. Shout out to Brabio. If it's capacity, you're able to bring in $20 million every year. Clearly you figured something out that the rest of us have not figured out. You're able to bring in $10 million every year. Yes, you have options and you deserve it because you figured something out that most human beings will never figure out. Right? You deserve it. You earned it. Right? But stagnant money, a lake of money that's not flowing in and flowing out, that you're actively trying to keep hostage. Yeah. It's like emotions. It's not your mate. You will fail 100% of the time. You have no idea how the value in that money was created. It can't stay with you. The forces of value will take that money away from you. Okay? And it will hurt. No matter how big that money is. So he's wrong. And maybe not intentionally. Maybe he just doesn't know what he doesn't know. He's lying. Okay?
Because of good infrastructure. Now, if you have $20 million, you will live in Banana Island where there is good infrastructure.
No, you won't.
Have you ever seen my Kadenuga?
If you are making $20 million a year, yes.
Overlooking the ocean. Then his house is like an estate. He doesn't join you inside go slow. His private jet is waiting for him in the airport. He needs to.
Been there. Grenada.
Been there.
Brazil been there. United Kingdom been there. Switzerland been there. Grenada.
Motion been there. Yanakwaja been there. Jibo been there. Ikorodu Anaba been there. Underbridge Ikeja been there. Alausa been there. Solo Yahweh. You are going to lọ síbi tí mo ti lọ. Let the poor
Breathe.
Listen, I want to let the referees rest. Okay, we'll continue if we feel like we need to continue, but it's the same rhetoric. Sugarcane versus sugar. Go need to more. It's a terrible analogy, right? Artificial versus natural. They all make sense. Those parables by themselves, they can be useful for other things. Connecting it to why marriages fail in America is flat on the surface. It makes sense, irrelevant. Rich versus poor, no one cares. And you will know that nobody cares once you JAPA and you're exposed long enough not to come here and come and shop for 2 weeks. It doesn't count. If you come here and come and live here, you understand that rich versus poor, nobody cares ultimately, okay? Most people don't care. They don't care. So your message, clap. And most of the men that will listen to this and try to paint this back on their marriage, if they had the option, they wouldn't be struggling this much. Their wife probably won't want to leave them because they would be scared a little bit more, right? The hypocrisy of adaptation and evolution, like precisely, you're supposed to adapt, you're supposed to evolve. But if you get stuck and you try to blame environmental society like Western world, Niger world, if you try to blame some random weirdo statistics, you could just collect more. That if you try to compare divorce in Nigeria to divorce in USA, you will always fail. Okay, calling people that JAPA atenoje, that gives. Okay, what do you define as atenoje? What is atenoje exactly? The fact that they survive, the fact that they chose to survive, that's atenoje. That's literally the word he used. That's a stretch. That's shaming, insulting, and what it tells me is that this is personal. This is personal, right? And people like me will always catch you in that sense, okay? People are miserable abroad. What do you mean? What's the criteria? Kill me by miserable. Why? Is it you're talking about the ones that have gone through marriage pain that are telling you stories? Or what are you talking about exactly? Can you tell us the rest of the story? We need the rest of the story, okay? Is JAPA for the poor or the rich irrelevant? Okay, it makes sense that the middle class are the ones JAPAing because number one, they can afford it. They can afford to go to Lagos to embassy. They can put something together, some paperwork, and JAPA. The rich, it makes sense that the rich in Nigeria, they have houses in abroad and houses in Nigeria. You forgot to tell us that they have houses and their children are schooling and staying abroad. You forgot to tell us that part. The poor, they can't afford even getting to Lagos to the embassy. So could make sense, Who is going to tell that they freeze? That the abroad is part of society. He kept saying society. The abroad is part of society. If there's more values in the abroad, the people, remember the fish, they will flow. If the doors are open, they will flow to where they need to flow. It's the same reason why people who are xenophobic are stupid. It's the same stupidity, just in reverse, okay? People will flow to where they get value. It's just the way it works. If you want to sell something else, you better bring some value in that conversation. Shaming, insulting, guilt will not work. Could it work? It's just not going to work, okay? There's so much more, okay? So much more. He's been traveling since 2005. Irrelevant. Traveling is not the same thing as living here. Okay? It's not the same thing as understanding the policies and winning with the policies. Failing first, you failed a few times and then you win. Once you've experienced failure and then winning, then we can listen to you. If all you're hearing is the failures, you can tell us nothing. By default, it falls your ideas, your rhetoric will fall on their face. Okay, your audience will follow you. They will get some temporary relief of their pain, but they will stay inside that pain and continue to collect woto. Okay, that's what's going to happen every time. So if you actually care, then we need to start having conversation. Yes, it's good that they have somewhat of some kind of safe space where they can express, but we need to get to some part of the solution. Somehow, we need to come up with something to get to that part of the solution, because, gentlemen, you don't have that luxury. I'm sorry. Not in the Western world. You're correct about that part. Okay, because the other side of this equation, they have options. They do. And that's progressive. Nigeria is moving in that direction as well. So moving back to Nigeria in this light is, again, you're going to maybe a temporary forward moving, but you're your own shadow. It follows you everywhere you go. You collect. You still collect. Okay. All right. Nigerians in the abroad doing Uber. And you see, when you're exposed, the next point of that conversation is and. What happened? People drive Uber and what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Right? Well, because they drive Uber, they must be poor. In what? How do you determine that? Because even on wordpoverty.io, there's a way they came up with the formulas. Tell me what criteria goes into that determination. I'm guessing this is personal feelings. It can't work. We need data. We need you to tell us a little bit more, and that way of interpreting data is terrible. It doesn't work. Okay. First and second class citizen, like I said on TV show earlier, you're talking about racism, and basically you're talking about systemic problems like tribalism and stuff that's basically the root causes of them are systemic failures. You can't shame people not to go to where they want to go to because of that. Calling them second-class citizens, it's a different conversation entirely, right? Let's talk about a situation where people live as indigenous, including the United States, indigenous, and they are considered there's no class. Nigeria, people take their land away from them. They steal it, punish them for it, potentially delete them in that process. There's no nation that's perfect around this conversation. The United States was built on that. People's land were stolen. Is it stolen or taken over? Was the territory taken over? You know, what does scripture says? Toluani leatia kunre. What's the English of that? The reality is that the land belongs to who? It's a big old question that we need to keep asking. In reality, who does it belong to? The person that takes over? For decades, for centuries? Or the people who owned it originally? Who's to say they didn't take over from somebody when they were hips? Yeah, this conversation is long. It's a long conversation. Should we focus on that direction or focus on engaging our power? Which one do you think will benefit us as a people better? Right? Knowing that there's limitations. The reason why real estate continue to grow is because there's limited amount of real estate. People will always need their own territory. So if they don't have, they will take over yours if you're stupid. Well, not stupid. If you're not competent. Right? In the America here, if you don't use your own land in certain parts of it, right? For 20 years, if somebody start using it and they've been using it for 20 years, they now own it by law. Policy. Who's the victim of that policy? Is that fair or not? Does it matter fairness in this? Who is going to determine fairness in this conversation? If they've been using it for 20 years and they can show that they've been using it for 20 years, even if you owned it 40 years ago, it's no longer yours. The closer you are to the city, the truer it is. Are you paying attention? It's an active marketplace. If you're not competent, If you don't have value, it will be taken away from you. The conversation, if it's fair or not fair, is another conversation. I don't care for that kind of conversation personally. I don't. Because I'm not sure it benefits you either. Okay? For first class, second class, kilo criteria, how do you become first class? Is it, because somebody look at me funny because I'm black? Nah. But that wasn't the conversation. We're talking about marriage. We're talking about marriage. Can we get back to that part? Yes, belongs to God. Okay? Inflation, appreciation, not just in money, in life, in general. Right? Do you understand this concept and why they are the way they are? Abi, you just want to point fingers that it's got to be the Matrix fault. The Matrix is after you. Fertility rate. It was talking about fertility, and I'm like, I just got lost. I was like, what does fertility has to do with Agbado? I'm completely like, what are you talking about? Fertility rates, marriage, it's just confusion.
Different from blue, Bulaba.
Per capita in the United States here, GDP $70,000. In Nigeria, 2021, $2,000. Can we talk about that? Oh, but there's mass shooting. It's not perfect. Like, we knew that. It's not perfect. Somehow, some way, this land seems more valuable, and people are gravitating in this direction. Even if they have to swim and pie inside that water, they are gravitating in that direction. You're deceiving yourself. The only conversation you should be having is like, we encourage you to come back. Here's the value in coming back to add value to what we have going on. The future belongs to Africa. I believe that personally, but you have to make better arguments. Those arguments are terrible and they're stupid at best. You have to make better arguments in this respect. You have to make better arguments. We need to talk about why per capita in Nigeria is $2,000 per capita GDP and $70,000 per capita. Are you kidding me? That's a whole $68,000 per capita. We need to talk about why. That distance, that frame of reference will always, if that's what it needs to happen, if what it's doing is destroying marriage, it will always destroy marriages. Why? Because there's value. Value for value. The only person, if you have to blame, is yourself. You don't have the luxury of pointing fingers at anything else. Not when you have the options of being in either side. You are in JAPA or you are in non-JAPA mode. You have those options. You can't blame anything. You have to blame yourself if you have to blame anything. And I think if you keep blaming yourself, you'll continue to collect. What you need to be looking for is understanding. Because the reason why people are so loud and they're about to hurt themselves in this conversation is because they don't really believe that they are innocent. They don't really believe it. They're seeking validation. They need someone to validate these terrible feelings that's really hurting them even further. That's perpetuating their pain. Okay? It's very simple. Nigerians are not productive on an average. It's not a crime. There's circumstances that created that. It is not necessarily an individual person's fault, but it's a question that we must answer in that way so that we can fix the issue. We can't blame anything else. We don't need to use blame. We can just see there's a problem here. We need to increase our productivity. Well, we need to engage and collaborate with people in diaspora, with the African American people, with the people that want to invest, investors, so that we can increase this per capita GDP here. Right? Win-win for everybody. We need to have that conversation and not try to shame women. He was trying to shame women. That's what that was. Because somehow men are innocent. This innocent, good old innocent men who are being taken advantage of by terrible policies. Policies designed by men. Should make sense, yeah? Does it make sense? Go hard up. Right? So, let me see. Money is different from value. So when he tried to fix it, he said there are 5 concerns he said he had. That is argument, that we just want to argue. No, we don't want to argue. There are thousands of people listening to you, and some of them might be looking for a better balance to understand this, and they're confused. Probably majority of them will be like, yes, you're right. Okay. The few, maybe 2 or 3 of them that says, you know what, there's something that's missing here. I wanted to give my perspective. That's what this is. No argument, okay? Even if we end up on the same platform, it can be a nice, healthy debate. I would never argue. Argue in terms of like talking over each other, and I don't do that. I would just excuse myself because you're right. Okay? I don't have time for that, personally, okay? So these are his points that he made, because I want to be fair to him. He said, this is what I meant. He said, I meant 90% of Nigeria abroad are second-class citizens. That's false. Until you tell us what else you mean by that. What's the rest of the story? Are you talking about systemic racism, tribalism? Have we done proper assessment against tribalism and the effect of it at an empirical level? Have we done that? If we haven't done that, it's false on surface. And the fact that you use the word, the number 90% instantly defeated. Okay, you're generalizing, and it's stupid at best. Not you being stupid, it's a stupid talking point. Raising children abroad is worse than raising children in Nigeria. That's the second point. What do you mean? What's the criteria? Are you using the leadership? Are you using per capita? What are you using to measure that? You can't just talk from your feelings. We need data to talk about what you're talking about. And no, we can't use the alphabet community for that. That's terrible and myopic in your way of thinking. Why? Because they've always been around. They just have more human rights now. Okay? And yes, they're pushing them down our throats through the media. Well, it is what it is. That's the world you live in now. Adapt or die. Bye. Okay? That's the reality. It is what it is. But yes, they've always been around, unless you're delusional. Oh, no, let's tell ourselves the lie. They just started coming. They just fell out of the skies from nowhere. Really? Are you sure you're a red pill, Abi? Are you sure you're falling under Tate? Because you're confused now. The reality is that they've always been around. They will continue to be around. And they deserve human rights. Fair, equality, human rights in public gatherings, at work, and all this kind of stuff. They're pushing it down our throats in the media. Well, reality. That's how I feel about it. Now you need to adjust. You need to pivot, adapt. Because this is the reality. Or you can just cry and bitch about it. That's not going to change. Okay? Third thing he has, so again, I need criteria on how does it measure that raising children in Nigeria is better. My ultimate answer to that is that you can't blame environment for that. You when you're raising children, just like building relationships, it's your responsibility to have understanding of the context, location wise, mindset wise, the type of person you married. Did you cross religion lines, dimensions? Did you cross racist lines, dimensions? All this kind of stuff. You got to pay attention to that. Okay. The third thing he said is 90% of Nigerians left Nigeria because of money issues. And it's the same answer for 90% of people are driving Uber in America. First of all, you're wrong, but and again, when you're not exposed, these are a big deal for you. It's not a big deal that a person is working for money. No matter how low you think or low class you think that work is, that's actually a thing of honor. The fact that they're willing to exchange some kind of service or their time for money. That's honorable. We didn't want to argue. And you have anything else you want to argue about? You wanted to argue, seems like, because this was moving the goalpost at this point. Then it goes, if Nigeria were good as it were in the 80s, 90% will be back home. And you have any point of, because we don't disagree necessarily, it's not much information in that, but and then the last point that we just made, if you are earning $10 million a month, you won't leave Nigeria. 10 million naira a month. Yes, precisely. There are many people who are earning 10 million naira per month. I just spoke to a personal friend recently, took his family and everybody and said, you know what? I can't. Okay? Good money, but yeah, I can't. It's too much. In fact, with this type of expertise that I have, I can, let me set my family up outside. So that's another lie. Many of them. In fact, in recent times, many of the people who took advantage of the student visa thing in London.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
Okay. These concepts are very important to pay attention to. Okay. So he's wrong. Overall, wrong. 0 over 100. Okay, but I'm open for conversation. I'm open. Okay. We might do a part 2 where everybody can call in early on. We might do that. But he's wrong. He's wrong. You know, and I don't like to make people wrong.
He shock you.
No, he's wrong. I think he's open to a conversation. If he has full chest, he can engage me. His manifest is everywhere. You can contact me. But no, I'm not reaching out first because I think he has a different mission. Okay, and that's okay. But we will do this correction. Okay, this intellectual miscombobulation all over the place. This is all wrong, and we needed to correct it. Okay. So yes, that's it. Let me see. Let me play this short 30 seconds video for you. Then I'll drop the link for. I'm actually going to drop the link right away right now for anybody who wants to come up. But I'm going to play this 30 seconds video to demonstrate in real time how he was wrong. In real time, he was wrong. Dead on arrival rhetoric. Okay, so I'm dropping that link. If you want to click on it, I won't pin it to the top because we've done enough. But just in case you have an opinion, but let me play this video. Watch this video.
They've taken my lie to.
Wait, let's go back. Wait, let's go back.
I now have greener pastures. They've taken my lie to.
In the middle of talking, real time.
Set stopwatch.
Let me rewind that for you again.
I now have greener pastures.
He was saying it's because of greener pasture. He was agreeing with somebody in agreement, but he was basically trying to justify this greener pastures in real time. It was proven wrong, right? And now you now get to see why he was wrong in real time. Watch.
I now have greener pastures. They've taken my lie to. Just watch.
They've taken his life.
Set stopwatch. Let's see how long it will take them to bring the light back. I'll not go even on can do for you. I've been waiting to call on light. I'm going to talk like this. More time, ma'am. Make you see how long it will take the light to come back. So because they are going to take my light for 1
It's already way too long. When it started the time.
People relocate for different reasons. They lie. Mukaila Atonda said people you relocated because of money. Nigeria, that carry you come out.
And what's the point exactly? It's okay that a billion of Nigeria. What's the point? The point is still scattered and miscombobulated, and we can't find it, right?
Now hunger carry you come out.
The light is trying to come back. The light is trying to come. The light is trying to come back.
Waiting to my bulb. Hey. An electrician don't close.
The light is trying to come back. Wait, oh.
They don't bring the
light
back.
Hey, I see you. I'm coming to you right away.
They don't bring her back. Be like saying that my bulb don't go. In 2 minutes, the light is 56. I'm timing it. 58 seconds.
The light did not come back.
If they don't bring it back, let me go and bring my ring light. Ring light day here. I go just plug and direct. Now the bulb get problem. No, the time, ma'am.
We're still timing it. We're waiting.
Someone say hunger day, Nigeria, hunger day, and now because of that hunger, people take wrong commodities.
Okay.
The people arguing. My master's fantastic, but let me tell you this. Let me tell you something. When University of Ife was University of Ife, you not relocate because of masters. You will not relocate because of masters. Where's my ring light?
So again, he's disagreeing with himself in real time. When University of Ife was university, you will not relocate. Okay, that's the point. Are you arguing with yourself? Which one exactly is? What is going on here?
The light directly. I don't know waiting do the bulb. We'll plug it for you now. Straight up.
Somebody said in the comment that Nigerian just happened to you.
My bulb that is acting up.
Poetic justice in real time.
So, no be the ring light I don't connect to.
Yeah, it's like before argument. Exactly. Factually. before encore. Duh.
Some people are relocating because of safety. Now I know people.
So the light never came back. He turned on the ring light. Okay. Yes, he said the light came back, but he plugged the real light. Okay, that's my word against this. I don't believe the light came back. Okay, maybe the light came back. Even if the light came back, right? By the time it was already 20 seconds that light blinked, right? We've got a problem, bro. It's not just that the light blinked for me. Imagine the rest of the quality of the life of 200 million people that this very one thing is affecting. The fact that power is not stable. Just imagine the magnitude of what we're talking about. Beyond yourself.
People who were robbed. I know people who had real security issues.
Okay. So you were arguing against yourself. I'll play this last one right quick.
That's my point. And if Nigeria was good, you will not be there. That's my second point.
That's the point. Okay.
Come back on.
You're right.
3 minutes. This is the longest they have ever taken my light. Let me pause, stop it so you can check it. 3 minutes, 41 seconds. Look at it. 3 minutes, 41 seconds.
3 minutes, 41 seconds. Every single day they will take my light.
The light they brought was low current.
This is the best case scenario in Nigeria. They brought you low current. Do you know what low current is? I grew up in Nigeria. I know what low current is. You know what low current is? Imagine somebody bring you power, but they can't power your computers. Just imagine that. Right? Yeah. What's the point?
Someone said fuel price is crazy.
What was the point? Let me bring my brother to the stage real quickly. What was the point? What's going on, Shay? How you doing?
Well, good evening, Mr. Ola.
Good evening, my guy. How you doing?
I do.
You collect that Woto. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. You know, you pressure to answer. I don't know if you get them yet, but I did here for you, but pressure.
Everything I do, I will. Pressure to what?
Continue, my guy. Continue.
Okay, so I don't want to be the first person to talk. A lot of people have been attacking me in the not attacking. They've been asking me questions, probing questions, and some questions I deflect deliberately because I want us to have a conversation and not a confrontation. It's a conversation, not a confrontation. It is normal for us to have divergent opinion, and that's why the world is a merrier place and it's a very interesting place. You understand? Daddy Freeze can have his opinion. The late Kevin Samuels can have his own opinion.
Right.
I can have my own opinion. You can have my own, and that's why we are human beings. So it doesn't take anything out of us as a person. You know.
Correct.
So I'll just wait for other people to come in to join. To give
No. This platform is a lot less smaller than Antibi show. Other people may not come in. This is your time. Just talk to me. It's just me and you conversation. If they come in, we'll make room for that. Yeah.
Okay, so Mr. Ola, I want to ask you some few questions. The first question I would like to ask you first is, what do you define as happiness and success? Oh, sorry, what do you define as happiness?
Me personally?
Yes, you personally.
Okay, so me personally, the first thing I'll tell, what I define as happiness, as success for me, is a balance between short-term and long-term sense of joy. Okay, so it's a little bit deeper than just happiness. but I don't like discounting momentary happiness. I like that I'm happy right now in this moment that I'm talking to you. I don't want anybody to come and tell me that it's not just short term. No, it's both. It's what becomes long term, and I understand also there will be ups and downs in life, right? Success for me at this stage in my life is legacy. I'm 43 years of age. Legacy, not necessarily in the sense of my children, partly because of that, but the fact that I can have a conversation with my kids. They're teenagers, right? And they can actually comprehend what I'm saying, and I can see it in real time, showing in their results they are creating. That's successful for me.
Oh, very interesting. Okay, so based on that, you've looked at happiness as joy, short term and long term.
Yes.
Now let's look at marriage. I don't want us to focus on that phrase.
Yeah,
there are
sure.
some errors he made. He made some errors and he's human. I'm not supportive of him. I don't stand by some of his principles. Of course, the principle of tithing. I don't agree with it.
Oh, you don't agree with that, huh?
No, I don't. I don't, because even the Bible says we should give, right? And even the early Christians, when I'm talking about the early Christians, I'm talking about if you're going to look at the book of Acts, he talked about giving. In fact, there was one time that somebody gave and lied to the prophet, to the disciple, and the person died. The Holy Ghost struck the person, and the person died. You understand? So that is a point. So giving already is the Bible. So I don't agree. Not in all points. I do agree with him. Some points I agree with him. Will I abuse him or curse him because of what he said about 2 weeks? Some few days back.
A few days ago.
The answer is no. I will not. It's his view. He's entitled to his opinion, right?
Yeah.
Maybe he has spoken. I was talking in the comment section.
Right.
And I said that maybe that the freeze has been speaking to people who
He has.
who have experienced very bad and traumatic marriage.
Right.
I do not know what the information he has.
I'll answer it. He has been.
Exactly. I'm not privy to that information. So I cannot act based on that.
Right.
Now, let's go back to your definition of happiness and success. What would you define what is the guiding principle of a happy marriage and a happy home? What do you base your principle upon?
Right. So a happy marriage, a happy home. My principles with regard. I need a little bit more context around that question.
Okay. So
yeah.
What do you say? What do you model? What concept or what concepts?
Oh, I'll give you one. It's actually scriptures, right? A house divided against itself, right? Is that how they say it? Because I'm not really a Bible scholar.
It shall not stand. Yeah.
It shall not stand. It's not, and that's against, as compared to just a set of ideologies that is correct in that person's eye, but it's only them that agree to it. Once the other person does not subscribe to it, either in form of actions or their words, you have a broken home, effectively, regardless of how right you are as an individual, because there's two individuals in it. You get it? That's the concept I operate by. Okay, and I pull that from the scriptures. I'm a church boy. I'm just not a Bible scholar like that. I play the keyboard in church, right? A house divided against itself cannot stand. And what I just said is a moving target, meaning what we agreed to yesterday as a default of life can change goalposts tomorrow. It's just what it is. Change is the only thing that's constant. And being able to read that, adjust, adapt to that without conflicting that with I must be a doormat is part of what makes us leaders.
Sorry, rephrase that your last sentence again. I didn't get that very
It's a moving target. The idea that you need unity ultimately between you and that other person, regardless of what side we're talking about. Right?
Absolutely.
The idea of seduction is to get them, you give them value and they're now on the same page without using control or manipulative tactics, because there's value in it for them, right? That's the idea of seduction in the context that I use it here, right? And that's a moving target. I might have successfully seduced you yesterday tomorrow is a different day, right?
Okay.
And part of that concept also is that nothing is guaranteed. Because now that I know that nothing is guaranteed, I calm down small. I move with humility, right? And that's what actually helps me create better results because I have managed expectations, okay? So, again, it's a very moving thing. It's a dance, right? It's like day to day because change is constant. Okay, so the concept is still true. A house divided against itself cannot stand. But it's not a rigid thing, right? Bruce Lee said, be like water, my friend. We're talking about flexibility now. Okay, now the problem comes when we start confusing that we don't have values. Does that mean I can't have my own value? I can't have standards? That's where the conversation starts becoming sticky. Did that help? Are you there, by the way?
You helped a bit, but if we are to go by your definitions of happiness, success, and your precept or your conception about marriage that should be biblical, then we understand, we will know that what we have in the current scheme of things, whether irrespective of where you are,
right,
is not marriage. Do you agree with me?
What's your definition of marriage?
My definition of marriage is based on the Bible principle.
Yeah,
Man,
what is that?
Love your wife. Woman, respect. That's the height.
Right.
And it's a loaded statement with so many meanings.
It is.
But that's
and I go by that principle too. So where are we disagreeing? No, that's. So the reason why I disagree with that, that's precisely what we have. So in a different environment, case in point, 1964, right? People don't have as many options. So it takes a lot less for you to earn the idea of a woman respecting you. It's closer, it seems closer to duty and responsibility. It's not. There is value in it for her to respect you. It was at the time, but the context has shifted, has changed.
That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, as it appears now, I'm talking from now, during this age of social media.
It's still true. That's what I'm saying. It's still true. What do you mean by it's not true? What do you mean it's not true? Tell me what you mean.
You and I know that. I'll tell you what.
No, what I know is that it's still true. It's still a true concept. The fact that we are creating terrible results doesn't mean it's still not true.
Okay, correct.
Okay.
The Bible is the unfallible word of God.
Yeah, it's the truth because it's undefeated, and the truth.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it might take us time to figure it out, but because we're trying to figure something out doesn't mean that the truth changed.
But how many people believe in the concept, in the biblical concept?
In the biblical concept? The concept...
Yes, of marriage.
So this is one of the mistakes that Christians make. They think the biblical concept is just for them. The concept in the Bible, as I understand them, I've read the book back to back a few times. It's not just for Christians. That's a terrible mistake. It's not just
I'm talking
for
in this context. I'm talking about a Christian marriage. I'm using Christian marriage. I'm not using Muslim marriage or Hindu.
We're saying the same thing.
Christian
Christian marriages are falling precisely because they think the concept is something to use to manipulate the other party. No, you need to understand it deeper. Yeah, you need to understand it deeper than just creating rules for people to stay in a marriage. Rules is not going to work, not in that context. Okay? Rules will work in context of understanding as principles, right?
Why do you think these marriages do not align with Bible? These marriages,
because we're out of order.
As I speak of currently now, why do you think it's not working? Irrespective of whether it is the West, the Nigeria, or the Africa, whichever one. Let's take it up from there.
Right. So imagine, okay, we have the sun, right? We're going to use this concept for you. We have the sun, and we have seeds. Okay. And we have the soil, a fertile soil, right?
Okay.
And then I'm in a space. Something has shifted. There's an evolution, according to Daddy Freeze, right? Something has changed in my brain. I've adapted, right? And somehow I think that the soil should just germinate crop, produce, right? It should just germinate just because the sun, and I don't put the seed in the ground, right? Imagine that. Or let's use another one. That's one, right? Let's use another two, right? Imagine I actually have the seed, but the context have changed. I moved to Sahara Desert, right? The condition is not conducive, but I actually have seed, and I put the seed in that sand, and it's not germinating. And I'm not asking, like, what changed? Why is this not germinating? It's out of order. The context changed, or I don't have the seed. Something is wrong. We are out of order. You cannot blame the soil as the person who is the farmer. You cannot blame the sun. You have yourself to hold accountable and responsible. What happened here? Am I in the wrong environment? Has the context changed? Right? So when you say love and respect, love starts first, right? And respect. That means respect is going to be earned. That means it's an active dance of move. It's a move. It's a dance, right? It's not a simultaneous thing like rules. Like when you bring this, I bring this, and then we meet. That's not how it works. Okay? There's a lot that goes into it. The other person that's respecting you, they might dash you respect because they see you as a man with a prick. But could it last? At some point, your relationship is going to be tested, and you have to demonstrate that you deserve or you can earn that respect. And the one you earn is much more sustainable. Clearly, the one that they dash you because you guys were in love, clearly it's not sustainable, because if you look around you, it's not working. Back in 1964, a different context, right? They needed you. There is no options, right? Protection, provision, that society, right? A lot less enlightenment, as in people don't know what they don't know, right? Today is different, but the needs are still the needs. The truth is still the truth, no matter how much we try to monopolize it, right? And the truth is that we still need each other, right? But it's a dance. It's not a situation where you say, hey, we meet, oh, we will do that sometimes, or seemingly do that, but it's not sustainable. It's not working. It's out of order. And the way men are trying to solve this problem is to hold women accountable to just respect just because. It worked before because there was a different type of value. It will not work 23 and beyond. Yeah, it needs to be earned.
Here's where I disagree with you.
Sure.
I have my own opinions. I want to circle back to what Kevin Samuels, the great late, God rest his soul, late Kevin Samuels. He was a bit of a red pill, you know, and I say a bit with the concept of advising the black women on how to shaping their lives.
Let me, Vivian, 1 second, Jerry. Vivian, just so you know, your connection is bad. Maybe make sure you're in a good connection. It says device is not connected. I know you came to the studio, but your connection is bad. Go ahead, my brother.
Okay, so if you look at it, you know, the reason why we've said that, we men have said that we should hold women accountable. I'll tell you a story. I have a friend, he's a psychiatric, he's a psychologist. So he does a lot of counseling. He does a lot of counseling.
Okay.
And he was telling me the other day, about a month ago or so, and he told me that he has gone through a lot of counseling. He has majority of his clients are women.
Right.
And those women, what he noticed about them is that they are easily triggered. There's this anxiety to get out of marriage over very small and fickle things.
Okay.
Do you know what this guy said?
What did he say?
This guy, when he's about to get married, he's an Igbo guy. He told me, he said, no, that he married an Indian girl. He didn't marry a Nigerian.
Okay.
He went to do prenup. I said, He showed me all the whole thing. Iron tight prenup. I'm like, I said, but why are you doing this? He said, Shay, stay there. This is a psychiatric, right? This woman that is supposed to be counseling me. and taking me through therapy. Abi?
Okay.
Now, so when he said that, I was like, what happened? He now said that there was one woman who maybe the child is just it's an Indian person, blah blah blah. He got married to this girl, this lady, and before you know it, they broke up, and the girl started bringing a man inside the house. I don't know the details, but this is the story. So based off that experience, you see, the thing I'm trying to draw here is that experience.
Wait, the girl was bringing another man inside the house.
Yes, now after the
So a guy got cheated on. Who got cheated on?
Of course, the guy got cheated.
The psychologist, psychiatric person got cheated on.
No. The psychologist.
Oh, he was telling another story.
He referencing a story to me.
Okay.
And I'm like, so that experience,
right,
or that example has shaping this decision. See, whether you like it or not,
naturally so.
Experiences shaping people's decision.
Okay.
If somebody comes out now and says, look, I've tried married before, I was married for 15 years and I don't want to. See, that's why I don't blame Daddy Freeze. He has his own share of experience. But do I believe all the whole story he has said about his marriage? I don't. Because it would be stupid of me to hold on to his story. Because there's only one side I'm listening to. I need to listen to the other side. And then I'll piece the pieces together and say, Baba, you are wrong here, you are wrong there, you are wrong there.
Right.
You know,
and you should.
But what I'm saying is, I don't want us to hold people. I don't want.
I'm listening to you.
People are posting stuff. They are coming at me, but it's okay. It's fine.
No, just talk to me. We're doing what we do. Just talk to me. Yeah.
I don't want us to people who have gone through experiences. I don't want us to say, you've gone through your experience, but that's not the experience. See, people heal in different ways. People can decide.
Wait, pause.
Wait.
Okay, go ahead.
People heal in different ways. People decide to say, okay, they don't want to get married. They just want to stay alone. People can say, oh, you know what? They'll have side chicks. People can say they want to move to Nigeria as a way of escaping this whole thing. So people heal in different ways based off their experiences. And the way they want to heal is their headache. I'm not going to. I will not be the one to, teleguide them. No, you must do this. You must get married again. There's still hope in marriage. I know of a guy who married 3 times. The guy is dead now.
Okay.
He committed suicide. So I don't know. Me. That's just me. That's my
we're that's fine. We're talking. You're agreeing with me. I don't know if you realize you're agreeing with me. You said you disagree, but you're agreeing with me. Here's how you're agreeing with me. You're telling me that there's no guarantee in life. You're telling me that people go through issues that will shape their experience. Their experience will shape their view, their point of view, even if that point of view will eventually destroy them even further, right? That's the part that you forget, right? Yes, as a fact of life, your experiences will shape your views. Precisely why we tell people to engage proper and wise counsel, right? Coaching and therapy. Coaching, counseling, and therapy does not tell you what to do with your life. That's something you insinuated. They don't tell you what to do with your life. That's not how that works. What they do tell you is they listen to your story. They listen even deeper to your interpretations of the events that has happened to you. Unfortunate events, right? And then they help you shape some interpretations that may end up destroying you further or perpetuate the problem. You see what I'm saying? They don't tell you what to do, right? They don't sell marriages, right? Marriages is just so happen to be a big part of our social construct. People want to be married. Precisely why anybody is so hurt for a marriage falling apart, because they want to be married. If they didn't want it that bad, they wouldn't be hurt, right? But they want it that bad, it failed. And it's natural to say, I don't care about that marriage once it's failed, right? But the reality is much more sustainable than our emotions at any point in time. The reality is that most people, they want what they want. But they jump into it with the wrong interpretation of past events, which is why 75 to 80% of second and third marriages fail. Because people don't seek proper healing before they jump into it. In fact, I'm telling them, slow down. You don't have to jump into anything. In fact, you never have to jump into anything ever again. You need to make sure that you are adequate. you are self-sustainable as a human being.
Absolutely.
Because if you are not, you go collect again, woto, because people mimic the level of self-respect you have for yourself. That is 100% true. If you don't love yourself, if you don't respect yourself, if you don't have a healthy self-esteem, people will mirror it in weird, twisted ways, but we can only tell with time. But we've seen enough cases that it's true. It sounds spiritual. It's not exactly spiritual. It's just that people only have the power against you that you give them, ultimately, in this conversation. Because we're talking about emotional stuff. Like, meaning nobody is touching you. Once somebody touches you or lay hands on you, they deserve one thing and one thing only. You call the cop. I don't care if it's a woman. They need to be taught a lesson. Right? Yoruba people will say, no, that's BS. They need to be locked up overnight. They need to sleep and reflect and see the effect. Once you as a man smell that potentially you might get locked up, like things are getting high, like the emotions are getting high, you need to grab your keys and remove yourself, because your leverage point is not to sit down there and argue. That's not your power in our society. That's not your power. You need to grab and leave and take the time and sob and cry, because I know you will, because it hurts that somebody's family breaks apart. It hurts.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? So that's why I said, that's why I'm saying we are agreeing. It's just that, again, these interpretations, when you interpret that somebody just want to out and destroy you, the only natural thing you want to do is destroy them back, or it shows in your rhetoric. And I don't think that helps in the long run. And I think you will collect on the next person, because across the board, man or woman, nobody cares. Everybody's just out to take care of themselves. When you dig in deeper at an emotional level, people have their own personal needs. And when you are able to cater to that, that's part of seduction. They reciprocate. So when that's what I interpret the Bible is saying when it says love. I interpret it as you're sowing a seed, right? And if that ground is not respecting the seed you're sowing in the form of respect, maybe you are in a Sahara desert. You have that you can move, right? And if you can't move, maybe it's self-esteem issues. Maybe you don't think you have options. You're questioning your own capabilities, essentially, right? You can move, married or not, or it doesn't. It's the same principles. That's why I said the Bible is complete to me. The question is that how are you interpreting it?
I agree with you 100%. I think you are right. 100% you are correct. But there's something I want to address. Somebody said that's a one-off story. No, it's not a one-off story. I don't go about looking for story. I have friends, I have colleagues at work. I can share another story again with you. I have a colleague who. No,
you can hang if you want. Let me get to Vivian. You can hang around.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, just hang around. Yeah.
Bring her on.
Vivian. So sorry. Unmute your mic, Vivian.
Okay.
Hey, Vivian.
Hello, man of Prestige.
Is it your first time calling here?
It's my first time. I just started following you from Auntie B's show today.
Yay. Welcome. Are you blushing now? Talk to me. What's on your mind?
I'm not blushing. I was just trying to figure out why my mic went muted again.
Oh no, that's okay. I was playing an applause for you. You won't see it. The audience saw it. That's all right.
Oh.
Yeah, talk to me.
No problem. Oh yeah, I have something to say. Like, I have a lot of things to say, but I want to address real quick what Seyi was just talking about. Love in marriage. I mean, the Bible orders the man to love his wife and the woman to respect her husband. We still have those marriages today. We still have those traditional marriages today. It's just that it might not be in that much, like it's not as much as it used to be, or as much as the failing marriages are. But we still have them. Even within migrants, we still have them. And then we also have failed marriages back home. I'm from Cameroon. Even back home.
Oh, you're from Cameroon?
Nigeria,
Okay.
Cameroon, yeah, Ghana, wherever we come from, we still have failed marriages.
Yeah, everywhere.
I don't think America, UK, wherever anybody is, determines if their marriage will work or fail. I just think the individuals, how they come into the marriage, what they even understand about marriage is what will
Mm-hmm.
determine if their marriages will fail or not fail. So when it's just sad that people think that because you're in America, the woman don't respect their men and everything, or because you're like, I don't know, but it's sad that people think that, or they're always trying to blame the woman. When the Bible says a man should love the wife, I follow that. I don't follow that the phrase like that, but
Okay.
I listen to his, whenever I connect to Facebook, I used to listen to his a lot of his videos. They are recommended to me on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
So most times, like one thing I caught on his video, I went to watch after I watched Auntie B show. I went to watch his video where he was bashing people abroad, talking how we are unsuccessful and everything.
Right.
And it's relative. Like what you consider successful is not what I consider successful. So if he considers we are unsuccessful, that's fine with him. But the
That's
thing
fine.
is, he's influencing so much of an audience that it's not okay to put those narratives out there.
Right.
What I was saying is, like that same video I was watching, he said something like, "Can you imagine asking me to put out the trash? I can't put out the trash." And I'm asking myself, how do you love? How is putting your out the trash? If they say love your
Mm-hmm.
wife, for example, you
How is
live
that
with them,
domestic and docile?
that is not even about. It's not even about being docile. How
No,
does it?
that's what he said. That's what he said. Go ahead.
Oh yeah,
Continue. Yeah.
oh yeah, yeah. What I mean is like, if how is that? How are you loving your wife less because
By
you
doing
put it
those
in the
things.
trash?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is that not showing? Is that not loving her even more if you can help out? That's the problem with a lot of migrants, especially African migrants in like when they leave Africa, because these men want to hold on to double standards.
Mm-hmm.
Back home, it's okay, you're the provider, you're everything fine. But if
Mm-hmm.
you come out here and you're expecting someone to help you out financially, why
Right.
don't you meet them in the middle? I'm not asking you to cook, I'm not asking you to do all those extra stuff, but why don't you do the little things? How does that make you less of a man? And that's what he preaches that. And then he kept, and I think that is where this whole second class citizen and everything, I think that's where the whole conversation stemmed from,
Yeah.
because
It's
he
part of it.
believes men are too big to help. You're not even helping, you're if you live in that house, at least you should be able to do one or two things to make life easy. What
Right.
is wrong with a man washing his plate or cooking his own rice? I mean, they're not asking, just like, what is wrong with them doing the little things?
Yeah. I'll even go this far, Vivian. Let me shock you. There are men who do those things, and they're still collecting woto. Are you aware of that?
Thank you, Mr. Ola. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's possible, but
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that a man is washing plates? I always say wash pata, I joke around with it, but let's just say washing plates, helping in the kitchen, doing all these things that the modern women tend to ask for, but he's still collected. Why do you think that is?
I think that is a foundational problem. That is why when I started talking, I said some people don't even know what it means to be married. A lot of women go in marriage unprepared. They go into marriage unprepared, and a lot of men go into marriage unprepared, because some people are just not brought up the right way. Let's not like some people don't know how to live with other people. And then a lot of women are also married to the wrong men. It doesn't matter what you do or don't not do, they will never see it. And it goes both ways.
Right. Right. So I'll give you one simple example. If a man does everything, he cleans diaper, help you with diaper, but he doesn't understand the concept of not arguing with the woman, he go collect. Even worse. Because he really believes he's a good man and he's done everything you ask for to be a good man, washing plates, but he can't understand why he can't command or attract respect from you. Right? Something so simple. Right?
Thank you very much, Mr. Ola.
If he has a need, if he has an obsession with being right, he doesn't know that, well, she's expressing something, I don't understand it, but let her talk. Right? Babe, you know what? Yeah, give me some time, let me process that. Give her a hug, give her a kiss, and say, let's talk about this in the morning. If he's not able to do things like that, if he considers that being a docile, domesticated man, right? eventually that woman will lose respect and lose more and more and more respect. We have more of those cases than modern men are washing plates. I'm just letting you know. And they are taking garbage out and stuff like that. Their confusion is emotional intelligence, social and emotional, and power and self-intelligence. That's their confusion.
Okay, sorry. Let me chime in here.
Sure, go for it. Hang out, Vivian. This is a good conversation.
Vivian, let me just let you know something. There could be a number of factors. It could be as a result of maybe, and you see, I believe in role play in every relationship. That if Chris might say he might not be able to go and pack the dirt out, but he might be doing something that is much more than packing the dirt. He could be buying a first class ticket or a business class ticket for his wife when they go on when they go on holiday. He could be buying. I'm not in that relationship, but I can tell you he might be doing other things to complement. So you see, every marriage is unique. Every marriage is very unique. Let's go back to the part of doing home chores. You can be doing home chores as a man, but maybe you're not even good in the other room, and it's an issue. And she'll just look at you that how are you useful as a man? That could be a problem. That could be a challenge. She might just maybe, and that conversation, maybe there's a communication breakdown.
Yeah, I did a show here. I think it was last week, about the stars of Love and Marriage DC, and they also used to be on Real Housewives of Potomac. Monique Samuels and Chris. Chris was a footballer who brought in millions of dollars, right? And this guy is trying to save his marriage. It's obvious. And his struggle is that even though he tried to help with the chores and all this kind of stuff, helping in the household and stuff, they announced last week they finally filed for divorce October 22 or something like that. It's the marriage collapsed, okay? And part of the things that I handpicked about their conversation is that he doesn't have support from other men. He's getting his advice from his market. What is the market? The woman, his wife, is getting. There's a place to actively listen to your woman, right? But if you take our words on surface value and you try to carbon copy paste it as a solution, it will backfire. If you don't understand what she's saying behind the scenes, the values, the deeper reasons, what the actual basic need, some people call it love language. Like if a woman says, for example, let's say I'm married to you, Vivian, and you said what I like is help, right? Let's say that's your personal experience. I want help in the kitchen, carrying the plates and stuff like that, right? That's true. But there's a deeper reason why you want those things. Those are the main thing that the man needs to connect to. So that when it comes to tomorrow and washing the plate is not enough, he understands the core reason why you wanted that. It could be act of service. My wife loves act of service, right? So let's say I jump into the kitchen and I wash the plate, I scrub the pot and make sure everything is clean, right? The effect of it is good when it's once in a while. When she gets that every day, it gets watered down. The effect of it gets watered down. Okay, so there's a place for that part of the conversation. There's another place for the part of the conversation. Like in general, you should be helpful, but these issues are much more important to pay attention to the emotional aspect of things. You want me to wash plate? Why? Why did you want me to wash plate is the main. So this guy was repeating his wife and said, oh yeah, money is not important. It's not about money. I said, no. The money, we can't encourage women to water down money. You brought in millions of dollars into this household. That was something. She enjoyed it. Oh, especially she enjoyed it. That was a lifestyle that created. When a woman gets into a space, when she starts saying it's not about money, you're not, as a man, you need to be careful buying into that. She's trying to say she's still missing something. She's pointing fingers at the money, but she still enjoy the money. But there's something else she's trying to say. And what I find, because I'm not their therapist, but what I can observe from just watching them on screen is that Chris wasn't sure of himself anymore. His ego has been shattered so badly. Is too engaged with being a people pleaser. And in general, people don't like people pleaser because it makes them question if it's real, right? It makes them question if it's authentic, right? You will even see some women will actually spell it out and say, well, we've been here in the past. We'll see how long it lasts. What do you think that does to the spirit of that man when he's actively also trying to help, right? So it's a vicious cycle, and then I'm not surprised that the marriage crashed and burnt, right? Because this man's ego is being shattered. He's actively trying to help. He's actually buying into the surface level part of the conversation, which is like money is nothing. Actually, money is something in this respect, right? But what she's trying to say is there's a disconnect emotionally, right? And disconnect emotionally doesn't mean that you're not a good guy. Sometimes what it means is back off of that woman. Let her sort some of this out. Stop being a macho man. Don't repeat our talking point for her, right? She needs some time off to value what she's got, right? Could he be washing plates? Yes. But I've seen that fall on his face a few times. They start washing the plate. The guy tried for 3 weeks and she didn't appreciate it. And now he's questioning like, wait, I'm confused, right? So I know for a fact that a lot of modern men are actually, quote unquote, domesticated, which is not a bad thing. You know, if you don't have house help or anything like that. It's not necessarily, it's subjective. It depends on what we're talking about, right? But being able to help in a household where everybody is, all the kids are toddlers, and your wife, that's being a leader, right? But thinking that that's what it takes to sustain a marriage, I think that's something there's a mistake that a lot of people are making. Not because there's something wrong with washing plates, because you didn't tap to the deeper reason why that woman asked for help in the first place. You know, the same thing with the man. If a man says, respect me, well, why do I need to stroke his ego? That's a good question. Maybe because you will get everything you want if you stroke his ego.
Absolutely.
Right? Would that, like if we get stuck in the stroking his ego part, right? The sowing seed. Remember the same conversation, right? If we get stuck in the sowing the seed part, like I've done everything, I'm a good guy. And if you get stuck there, but I've done everything, so and you don't understand there's a season. You have to wait. You have to do it long enough, right? And in addition to that, you have to be doing it for self. This is the part where you have to be sure of yourself. If you're doing it just because you want the result too, yeah, that one too will fall on his face because the result will not show up in good time. You will be looking for it and it won't show up in good time and you get frustrated in that process. So whatever you do, that's why I always go back to self. Make sure you're doing it for self, right? So I just want to make sure that we dig it a little bit deeper than the surface stuff. Why can't you wash plate? Why can't you wash my pata? Why can't you respect me? Those are all surface stuff. There's people doing those things and it still fail because people are disconnected from the emotional aspect of why do you want these things? Why? What does it make you feel? Why do you like it when a woman strokes your ego and says, my king, Olowori? What is it that make you smile? What is it? Women also asking like, that makes him smile. His balls are mine. Right? Those are the conversations that we're not having because it takes patience. I have to first of all make sure you hear me. I understand. You understand where I'm coming from. I understand where you're coming from. And then we connect it to what do you want? What is the result that you desire? What you want is to feel loved, to feel secure, feel safe as a woman. When you look at everything that woman said they want, that's all they want. Woman will go wash her own pata and wash yours self with the doodles in it if she feels safe, secure, and loved. The fact that she doesn't feel safe, secure, and loved is not necessarily your fault. This woman may just not belong in that situation, and vice versa. And you need to be able to detect those things with that. Don't beat yourself up too badly, because when people beat themselves up too badly, that's why they're pointing fingers. That's what it shows. When you point fingers, it's a sign that you're beating yourself up, and you just need something else to validate that you're hurt, right? So it's deep. It's deep. And Vivian, did that help? I know I kind of digressed a bit. Vivian still here or no? Oh, I think she left. Shay,
No.
what do you think about that?
It's okay. It's I'm learning. I learn. I like the fact that you have a divergent opinion. Your opinions are, it's broad. It's not. It's a mix of both. It's. I'll say it's a diluted red pill. That's the way I put it. It's a diluted red pill.
Yeah, my opinion is that it's the actual red pill. Everything else is blue pill and fake masculinity. People that are looking for validation, people that are not sure of themselves. When you see reality and you accept, and then accepting it doesn't mean you have to tolerate it to you. That's what red pill is supposed to be, right? Just being aware of the reality of things and see them as they are without feeling the need to point finger at the other gender, right? That's what it's supposed to be. But what it is today in reality is that it's just a cesspool of people that are hurt, unfortunately. But I think it will reset. It will go in cycle. I don't know how long that's going to take. Maybe 20 years before it resets, which means some people will die in the midst of it before they can get it together. Because the reality is that red pill means they said truth, but nothing but the truth. And anything you know about truth is undefeated. It might take time, but the reality will keep showing itself to you. So, but I don't even like using the word red pill because of the connotation and the negative connotation that brand carries. I just want us to talk about relationships. It's not about romantic relationship precisely, but that's where we are hurting from. That's what this is about. But it's the same principles, right? I see a person I like, I tell her I like her. If she says no, I'm okay with it, right? And whenever she says no, it's not necessarily when she says no's in the beginning. After I marry her 3-4 years into it, sometimes she will say no, meaning something doesn't feel safe, secure, and loving to her, and she pushes back. But I'm like, okay, what do you mean no? Kilo shele gogono.
But here, sorry, I want to put in there, and that's where the red pill community comes in. Now, you see, the red pill community comes in because a lot of them are so afraid to even jump into marriage for the fact that, number one, all the things they're going to lose. You see, the thing is that we're not, we need to be listening to men, what men are saying. What are men saying? What is their fears? What are their...
When you say we, what do you mean? You mean women as well?
Well, I'm not saying women here because I don't know women. Wait, hold on. I don't know women from the perspective of women. I don't know a woman. I can't say I know a woman 100%. I can't say that.
Yeah, and I'm agreeing with you in this sense. I'm actually agreeing with you that men, because of the social construct, social aspect of things, you can't afford to be asking women to listen to you. If you get that they dash you respect and dash you active listening, you didn't earn it. It's not sustainable. Take it from me. You need to earn it. It's better to earn it so you can take full credit for it.
So when you say earn it, what do you mean by earn it?
As a function of time, patience, process, right? Time, patience, process. You understand that you've sown some seed somewhere, right? Like you earn it. Like she didn't dash you. It will feel like she dashed you because of the time space between it, right? It will feel so good, and you forgot that you actually sown a seed. That's why some people say somebody got lucky. Like, no, they didn't get lucky. They have equity. The love language theory calls it the love tank, the love bank. There's some things that have happened that created a woman who feels safe, secure, and loved, right? There's some things that have happened. And if she's outrightly disrespectful, she's just a disrespectful person, which they do exist, it's not sustainable. She can't be in the environment. She will self-eject herself. Okay?
Agreed. But is this in marriage or just in a common relationship?
All of the above.
No. Like, no, I know if you do that one.
Elaborate.
Except my marriage.
Elaborate now.
No.
No, elaborate, because the more you go towards inside of marriage, the more you have to exercise this principle. It's easier to exit.
But if it's just, I'm talking about just casual dating. We're just
casual dating is the same thing now. Let me explain. Let me explain for you. Right? Let me explain. I see where your disagreement is at. If I'm dating a person, right?
Yes.
The newness, the excitement. It's like entertainment. It's like Davido make me dance.
Okay.
Right? That's value. So she gives you respect, right? Because of that. But it's not sustainable. Because there's a collaborative effort going on between two human beings, there will be friction. Now it's your time to start earning. That's going to start in real time. The more number of days because you will feel safe too. You will stay in that relation because she's dashing you respect yesterday. It feels good. This is a woman who is in love with you, right? So you will continue to buy day by day. You are buying into being with this person. So it gets more and more difficult to exit because you have vested interest. The more and more time you spend with her. So it gets much more difficult to just exit. Unlike what the red pill say, which is just leave. Well, that's cap. Most people can just leave. That's why they're complaining. If they could leave, they won't be complaining. They can't leave because they have vested interest in this person. They feel like, I've spent the last 3 months, I really like her. I can't, So you are in there, which means you are indirectly subscribing to disrespectful behavior if she's a disrespectful person. And she will continue to until you are able to back off small. So even inside of marriage, being able to back off, go in the basement and have a me time by yourself when she's upset. It's the same principle, the concept. You know what see finish is? See finish.
Yeah, it's disrespect.
It's a principle that's true across the board. If you're readily available for BS, you'll be taken for granted.
Absolutely.
So it's this at the core, it's the same principle. How it shows up in, I just met this person today, or later on, 10 years in the marriage is different, obviously, because of vested interest, right? But it's the same principle. If you keep showing up for a person who is outrightly disrespectful, in your opinion, it is no wonder why you continue to attract disrespect. It doesn't mean they're not guilty of being disrespectful, but your point of leverage is not in holding another human being accountable in that manner, right? You hold them accountable by showing them that you will not reward bad behavior. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but what would you say to a lady, right, who wakes up one morning, even after doing everything, who wakes up one morning and says, you know what, I'm not feeling this relationship. I want a divorce. What would you say about that?
If I was the husband?
Yeah, I'm just taking an idea. You don't have to be the husband.
I have to be the husband. I have to be the husband. Or if I was advising her, if she says she's not feeling the marriage, I'll ask her what happened.
She has not even gone to counseling. She don't wake up one morning and say, I'm not feeling this marriage.
If she deems me something that she feels safe enough to tell me that, right? I'm like, what happened? Tell me more about that. What's going on? That's what I would say. I won't conclude. I won't tell her duty and responsibility to go back in there. No. I want to know what else. What's going on? Where's the rest of the story? I want to know. And I might end up saying, why don't you seek counsel? Wise counsel, right? If I was the husband, I can't do that. You don't have the luxury of doing that. If I was the actual husband, whatever she wants, I give her. She wants freedom, she gets it instantly. Easier said than done. Okay, easier said than done. But the best thing is to say, because you can't act like you're surprised that you're here now. You've seen some things that's just bad. So you just be like, I understand. It hasn't been great. And what you will end up doing is you will confuse the shit out of her. She'll be like, why did she let me go so soon? She'll be confused. Then you back off. You let her process that. Easier said than done. Because again, this is your wife now. So the first natural knee-jerk reaction thing you will naturally do, like every other human being, is like, you're whining me. You're not feeling this relationship. That's how normal human beings will act. But it makes things worse. It just makes things worse. It also demonstrates that you're not sure of yourself. You're low self-esteem. You're low sense of self. You have extremely low on sense. Because if you have, let's say it's complete surprise, and you're a guy who is full of yourself, You're like, babe, kilo me. That will be your first question. You won't see it coming. You'll be like, babe, kilo me. Well, I think I need to. Are you serious? That would be the first thing. You'll be like, are you serious? You'll be confused, right? But you won't overreact. The people that overreact, they see it coming and they already smell that something is bad, right? And they think they can manipulate, and then they start saying things like duty, responsibility, all the stuff that she's already assessed. She's been gone 5 years before that point. She already made up her mind. She's gone. And you are here trying to convince her with Bible verses. It's like no wonder why she left you. You are that slow, you know. Right?
Confirm.
See,
True.
it's not about it's your fault. It's about how things just work in life. That's just how life is, you know. And the more you are aware that it's not your fault, it's not her fault, it's not whatever. She's wrong, she's right. The more you disengage from that part of the conversation, the more you're able to attract even better goodness. Because what we know about life, when one door closes,
Another opens.
we think these things are spiritual, but it's actually reality of life. We think we over spiritualize it to the point that we disconnect from the reality of it. You know, it's a sad thing that your wife, a person's wife or husband left them, or they go mad and start acting mad, or they start going out suddenly, they start showing behaviors you've never seen. It's a sad thing. Okay, but it gets worse when you engage it with your emotions or this type of daddy freeze rhetoric. It just gets worse.
But you know, the thing is, it's not always easy. I don't know. You have not been there before, so.
What do you mean I've not been there? Have you read my book? You haven't read my book. It's free. Go download it now. Why are you asking me if I've not been there? Why are you telling me if I've been there or not? It's a whole story.
The way you collect for there, but no, but seriously.
It's free. Download it on your phone and read it before you tell me I haven't been there.
Okay, I'll try and download it. Let me give other opportunity to the women, to the lovely women on the show, so that they don't go bury me today. Make I give them opportunity. I'm still here anyway.
Yeah, no, Wala. Thank you so much. I have Tima, my sister. Tima is here. You can unmute your mic. Hold on. Before you unmute. You're talking? Are you talking? Mbasi, you did there? Okay, maybe she's trying to run to the phone right now. On Peace Unique says.
I'm here. I think we're having like a delay.
Your signal is bad, though.
Okay, let me hang on. Let me get to where it's safe a little bit, and I'll call him.
Okay, just signal me. I might shut the show down before you come back, but let me know if you still catch me, okay?
Yeah, I will. That's fine.
Okay, all right. On Peace Unique says, wow, I wish my husband is listening to this. He's a good provider and helps around the house, but doesn't understand the emotional aspect. These are the issues, okay? Everybody else, listen, I have a few people. Ladies, go and find Chloe _ on YouTube. I will recommend her. I might even put her as I don't know who she is personally, but her concept makes sense to me, okay? And I think she's speaking as a woman, and maybe you can understand better, right? And, from a woman's standpoint, I might link it in the, I just think the value is too good. And they're short videos, but people always the suffering is the same on both sides. People are very, very myopic on what they're looking at. They're looking at things from their point of pain and just tangible things they can touch, things they can see, and they don't pay attention to the emotional aspect. So that's a word on Peace Unique. Thank you for being here. Let's see here. Let's see. Let me say anything. Just trying to catch up. Bon Chan says surface structure without deep structure does not work in anything in life. Literally in anything in life. That's a word for the wise again. Ola is making too much sense. Hope some people are listening. Chidima, shout out to you. I appreciate you. Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a minute, by the way. Toby and Tribe says, well, some men like DF carry the old school mentality. Some men like DF, Daddy Freeze, carry the old school mentality. They don't want to take the bean out, and that's fine. There's a woman for every man, and I guess is found is. Yeah, so taking the bean out is never the real issue. It's one of the things we point fingers out when there's a breakdown in the emotional structure of the relationship. It's one of the easiest things to point finger at. Because I guarantee you that man did not stop taking trash out right now. He's always been that guy. But somehow it's the easiest thing to point fingers at when You don't feel safe, secure, and loved anymore. And it doesn't mean you can't ask for someone to help you with house. But if you are feeling safe, secure, and loved, there's also a way you would naturally ask for help. It won't be condescending. It won't be sarcastic. It won't be an attack at his ego, right? There's a way you express that, babe, I need help with this. When you're feeling safe and secure, you feel the freedom to ask. There's a way you ask for it. There's a way that the person that has deeper issues that they ask for it, that it just gets worse. And it's like, why are you talking to me like that? And the guy is now like, wait, the dustbin is not the issue, but why are you talking to me like that? And he's now confused as well. Right? So again, it's easy to blame some things. What is it that I've been blaming? Right? People blame she just want to weaponize sex. I'm like, no, there are deeper issues. She just doesn't want to have sex with you. Let's talk about that part. Right? Why is it that a person who wants to have sex with you choose not to want to have sex with you? That is a confusion bowl of nothing and stupidity. There's more to that conversation. And if you don't ask further questions, you could continue to collect. Would do. Let's see. But ultimately, it's true. There's somebody for everyone. But if you marry that person, it's not just that there's if you already married that person, it's not just that there's something for somebody. It's incompetence. It's people that are anti-seducers marrying each other. People that disengage from their power. People that think you're supposed to just because you're supposed to. No, you're dealing with a human being. If they don't feel safe, secure, respected, all this emotional stuff, if they don't feel a sense of fulfillment being with you, you go collect woto. Man or woman. That's just the way it works. Okay?
Sorry.
And they would justify it with the Bible verse or something stupid, or like a dustbin or something. They would justify the reason why they left you with the dustbin. Whatever, man. She didn't just start not feeling the marriage. What happened? Yep, born chance. She was right there with me. That is a huge decision to just wake up one morning and make, unless all complaints are dismissed as petty and fickle. Yes, oftentimes as men, we've been dismissive, but life was just happening. We didn't realize it was dismissive. We didn't think it was that deep. Like, come on, like, this is marriage. Like, it's not supposed to be happy, only like we're just like, she's gonna be all right. After all, you forgive me 2 weeks ago, and we had a better even makeup sex than normal sex. And so it's like, that's the way it plays out in our head, right? But yeah, it's usually because we've been dismissive of the issues in the past. It's like somebody say, this computer just doesn't work. I've been pressing the right buttons. I know it's always human. For the most part, if you're an IT person, it's human error. Right? It's like, for the most part, it's human error. If you're an IT person, you're like, oh yeah, the computer just decided not to work for you. Just you. Yeah. Okay. All right. I hear you. So, if you were crazy in love in the beginning and she later asked for divorce, what happened in between? Yeah, tell me the rest of the story. I need the rest of the story. Yes. What? How do you know Ola hasn't been there? Zafar doesn't know. Yeah, that's my guy though. He say you did yab me. She can handle this chat. She is much more better than Ekene. Ekene would have triggered himself 20 times all over again. Pearls, something happened in the marriage that led to that huge decision. Yeah, and it's okay for us as men to say, yeah, I wasn't aware. There's so many things, like literally for me to discover some things, 8 years in, right, before everything fell apart and we had to rebuild a whole new foundation, like from scratch. 8 years. Okay, I was having a good time. I was the best husband in the world as far as I was concerned. And then I'm hearing, yeah, I don't think I can do this anymore. I'm like, what do you mean? You the wine Jesus. Kill me, right? It's 8-9 years into it. I was asking you the wine. I completely forgot that I sowed that seed once upon a time. 5 years into our marriage, I was the first one to use that word divorce. Like, I can't do this. I want a divorce. And she held on to it. I didn't think it was a big deal. She held on to it. And it was a seed that was still brewing, that was germinating for the next 3-4 years before he showed his true face again and said, you didn't want this anyway. And I'm like, God help me, what's going on, right? And then it wasn't funny. The whole story is in the book. Oh, yeah. Yep. Let's see. She said, what is your intention? No. Yeah, she, what did you ask? She said, what's your intention of asking me? I defined a serious relationship where go lead to marriage. Oh, yeah. Shoot your shot, bro. I ain't mad at you. I highly recommend you check out the book. You will definitely learn a thing or two like I do. It's really good chance. And by the way, Shay, there's a 30-day that is still free right now. I think we're going to start the price at $97. Okay, so any day right now we're working on setting the wall gate, the pay gate in front of it, and then you have to pay $97 to access. It's a 30-day boot camp. It's just you spending 5 to 12 minutes with me every day for 30 days, learning the concepts and the principles that I share, okay, in a more structured environment. Okay. No, you're not, Shay. You said you never want to marry again in the previous Shay. Shay doesn't know that women don't remember. Women don't forget anything. Shay, you go learn. Women don't forget nothing, right? I actually know you and I have a good memory. No, it's not just you, Chidima. Women, they don't forget anything. Okay? Including the stuff you forgot completely. Like you can't even remember, you can't even pull it out of your memory, but they remember. And now you're in a place where you're a liar. No, you lied. No, you lied. No, it's a lie. And you ever been in that situation before where you like everybody's saying they're a liar and they're like, Jesus. And it's a loop. Right? Shay says change is constant thing in life. Nah, that's a good comeback, Shay. That's a good comeback. Change is a constant thing in life. Yeah. So I want to say thank you for everyone who is here. Thank you to Daddy Freeze for the content to react to. And, listen. Tim, are you there? Are you able to talk? I'm about to exit the show.
I know. My network is just giving me... I'm doing some running here, but let me say this quick.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me say this quick. May we never marry to our triggers. Okay? May we never marry to our triggers, because in a lot of situations where if you are married to your triggers, number one, first of all, you are not aware of your own trauma.
Right.
Right?
Right? Like, I don't know my own trauma. Like...
When I'm not aware of my own trauma, tell me, how do I go about that?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I'm married to my triggers, and then it's gonna look like nothing, but you're gonna keep pointing finger until Jesus can come back. Okay?
Right.
Because you will never see it as something that has a lot to do with you, but you see it like you're married to your enemy.
Right. It's a competition.
So this is
comparisons.
Right. This is what. Yes. So the idea of who do this, the responsibility of the marriage, get to know yourself well, make sure you do this or that. All of that is okay and it's fine. Okay. But that does not guarantee that the marriage is going to work. And a lot of us, I don't want to use all of us, but somehow, in some way, in some form, even if you have a perfect childhood, somehow you still have a trauma sitting inside of you that in most cases we don't even know that we have them.
Correction, all of us. All of us.
So exactly. And I find it very scary, especially in the African community, Nigerian community, especially among men, that not only that some of them are not aware of it, some they don't even know how to go about it to seek for help. Right?
Yeah.
And in most cases, it's just the other partner that's doing the work alone. That's number one. Number two, again, is where you've been broken, this person that broke you is not gonna be the same person that's gonna heal you. If that person is not willing to do his own work.
Yeah.
Individually.
Yep, and that's on them.
So we, as women, we want to feel safe. We want to feel loved. Yes, all of that is true. But please, women or men, understand, know your trauma, heal yourself, know what your triggers are, so that you don't end up with your own trigger.
Yeah.
And then you blame the other person day and night that it was the other person. It was the other person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. It's true. It's the awareness. So everything always go back to self-awareness, right? Self-awareness, self-intelligence, just paying attention to self. You know. Thank you so much, Embassy. I appreciate you. Shay, you have a last word? Sorry, Embassy, are you done? Okay, she left. I know she's kind of busy. Shay, you have a last word for me?
Yeah, I just want to thank you for your views. I mean, your views are always very broadened. You always have very broadened views, and I learn a lot. Even though I was just joking with Chidima, I still remain on my track. I'm not. For me, it's maybe 10 years, 15 years down the line, I can change my mind. But as I am now, I still remain on my track. I was just kidding, actually. I was just pulling her legs. But what I want to say is that
what were you kidding about? Which part?
Oh, the marriage. That I was actually teasing her. Actually.
Why are you teasing her? Why?
No.
What's wrong with shooting your shot?
No. I'm a simp.
You never know.
That's why.
You're simp. You never know. Full chest. This is what women love. The full chest. Even if they will eventually say no, they can't resist.
No, it's a normal thing now. I still get no's up till now, even though on a normal dating level. I get no's, so it's no. But I was just kidding. Seriously, I was kidding. Just take it that way. So, but I've learned a lot from you, and I really enjoy your show. I'll try as much as possible. I'm a very busy person, but I'll try as much as possible to join in, and then I'll try and see if I can get your book. Can I get it on your website?
It's loveandproceed.com. Just go there. Sign up. It's a free membership, and then you have access to all 4 of my books. And and then there's a few free courses. There's also a free course on real estate and digital marketing, things you might find useful in your professional life. So just go ahead and access that. But the courses, we're gonna put a paywall in front of it in the next few days. So make sure you access that right away.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Yes, guys.
God bless.
All right, take care, boys. Yeah. All right. Chidima said, good luck, Shay. Chidima, thanks for being here. Thanks for everyone that was here, that have been here. Thanks to all the super chat, gracious greatness. D, of course, was here. D, I'm going to go find that video and probably sleep on it tonight. Maybe go to bed with it. Of course, Auntie B, always a pleasure to work with Auntie B. So I'm trying to cook something with Auntie B that I think is going to be exciting. Okay, so we'll see. We're going to do something together. So look out for it. It's going to be huge. Okay, international level. So just look out for that. But we'll continue to collaborate on these topics. We will continue to call out the BS in that marketplace. Okay, we'll continue to call it out as we see it. Okay, regardless of where it comes from, because we can't afford it. Okay, we can't afford that somebody just turn around and say, "Oh, the JAPA marriages are terrible." What do you want somebody to go back home and do when they just collected woto last night? They're like, "Yeah, I knew it." Right? How are you helping? That's stupid, right? You're not helping nothing, because it's unrealistic to expect that they will move back. Most of them will never be able to move back. That's the reality, right? Many people have planted and their flag. They will always have connection back to Nigeria. They will come back. They might do business. They might have 2 homes. In what the best you can encourage for anybody is maybe have 2 homes and be able to do back and forth. My wife and I's dream personally is to have 2 homes, spend winter in Nigeria and spend summertime here. That's our dreams in the next few years. Okay, so anybody hate Nigeria, we're just calling out the BS and the unrealistic expectations and unrealistic terrible solutions being offered by people that don't know any better. Okay, relax. Okay, it's okay to have your own opinion. or we'll call the BS when we catch it. Just letting you know. Okay. So, yeah. So, yep, hopefully we answered that question. Loveandprestige.com is where you go to find that information. Okay. And look at me reposting. So you know, want marry me? Make I see you. Make I see you. You can't undo me. Thanks. All right. Now go dear. All right. All right. Thank you so much. Hopefully, again, go to loveandprestige.com. And if you want to be notified whenever I go live, personally by me, go to lolaandola.com/WhatsApp. Okay. And you can use that link to link directly into the WhatsApp group. I personally notify you when I'm going live. And also, if that doesn't work, you can simply send a WhatsApp message to +1 732 305 8577. Okay, WhatsApp messages only, and then you'll be directed into the group, so you can also chit chat, banter back and forth. I saw Patricia earlier. Patricia, are you still here? I saw you earlier. Welcome. Yeah, but we're deep in the conversations. Okay, but yes, I want to say here's an open invitation to Daddy Freeze. If he wants to invite me, I don't do panels. Okay, I only do panels with one person. Okay, and whenever I'm available and he calls in, that's Sir Hill. Shout out to my friend Sir Hill. I don't do panels. I just don't, because to be frank, for the most part, it's a waste of my time. I can't afford the time. Okay, but Daddy Freeze is Daddy Freeze. Okay, if he's open to a conversation, I'm open to it. Okay, as long as it's a conversation, respectful conversation, where we can agree to disagree, and I'm open to it. I'm good. I want to say thank you again to his content. It was used completely within the fair use guidelines, within the YouTube fair use guidelines. So I just want to make sure that we are clear on that in this recording. Okay. But yes, beloved, welcome. I say just joined, just finished Obodo Yibo TV. It was interesting. Yes, make sure you watch this one from beginning too. All right. I appreciate all of you. Hit that like button, share and subscribe on your way out. Well, make sure you're subscribed. Okay, hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.